Do you get nervous on camera at all?
I think you start to, but I don't get as nervous talking
Yeah.
as I do taking pictures. Crazy, right?
So you get nervous taking pictures, like
Yeah, I don't
if
get
someone take pictures of you.
Yeah. I get somebody taking a picture of me, I get nervous. With somebody, because I don't know what my face looks like. You feel me? Like,
Okay.
and listen, everybody got angles, you dig? Like, so if you catch me in the wrong spot, or if you know how you think you look like something and you don't look like that?
Yeah.
That's what be happening to me sometimes. So like if I'm like really chilling,
Yeah.
I can look a lot different than I look normally. You know what I'm saying? So picture wise, I don't like it as much. Whereas in video, I'm just talking. You know what I mean? And that's like normal. So I don't really feel no way.
Do you have like a good side or a bad side that you think? Because I got put onto that because my girl always says, she's like, "This is my good side." I be like, "What does that mean?" I never thought about that, bro.
How did you determine your good side?
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, see, I didn't know.
So you never thought about that?
I think about it, but I don't know which one is the good side.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, all right, put it like this. I don't know how to almost recreate that. I just know I got to be regular. I can't be trying to pose. When I be posing, I always look crazy. If I'm chilling, I'm normal. I don't look bad.
So more like just what they call them? Like just what is it? Like I don't know. I don't do these type of photos, but like just like I don't know, like you're just walking and nobody is like.
Oh yeah, like looking at like you're just not looking like off center.
Yeah, just like
you know what I mean? Yeah, off guard.
Off guard. Yeah. It's like off guard. You're not really like posing or doing any poses. It's just like you're just going about your day or whatever.
For sure. I could definitely be like that. Or just like lifestyle too. Like, you know, pictures like when you was a kid. I think honestly, I think that a lot of content is moving towards that anyway, which I kind of prefer. That like it's not that the picture has to be perfect, but at the same time, like I would rather it be in motion. You know what I mean? Like, so I actually like to take a little video and then I'll clip little pictures, little spot of the video.
Right.
And that is like what I'll use as a picture instead of just taking pictures all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll do that with this one with this as well. So it'll be like anytime I take any photos from that, it's always gonna be a video first and then clip it from the video.
Yeah.
I don't know why
it looks better because you get yourself in different. You know what I mean?
Because all video is just like chopped up pictures going in ones, going like flow. You know?
Nah, it's plus I think ultimately video is where everything is going towards now. Anyway, everybody's on YouTube. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like YouTube, Twitch, like stream, like in some form of video content, people want to be able to see the full motion.
Yeah.
Like even Instagram is way more video content than it ever used to be.
Yeah, because of Twitter. So like Twitter, I'm sorry, not Twitter. TikTok.
TikTok, yeah.
TikTok. It went a little bit more to like the shorts and the shorts is YouTube, but the reels and stuff like that with Instagram. Yeah, it wasn't like that at first.
Do you get nervous like talking, or you get nervous more on photo?
So for me, bro, like this is even why like I want to do this because, bro, I'm from I'm from New Orleans, right? Yeah. And
you can hear it.
You ever been to New Orleans before?
Yeah.
So, bro, we literally talk like a whole different language, bro.
Facts.
Like, if I was to talk to you in New Orleans accent right now, you're gonna be like, man, this is a different nigga, bro. Like, cause every other word is a curse word.
Right.
That's just how we talk, bro. Like, every other word is a curse word. Like, you hear me? Yeah, bitch, you hear me? Like, whatever. Like, that's just how we talk. So, like, that's why I grew up talking. So, trying to talk proper English, dog, it's like a different language, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
you gotta relearn how to do it.
You gotta, like you gotta. It's I don't know. So for me, I get a little bit. I ain't gonna say I get nervous, but I just want to train how to talk proper English because I didn't grow up that way. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up not only because of because it's just two big differences in the language, but also like I'm Christian now. So like being a Christian,
you ain't grow up Christian though.
I mean, I grew up, like but I ain't grew up like Christian. So it's like, but now I'm more like, very, everything is for like how I speak, how I present myself is a little bit more intentional when it comes to that, right? So trying to speak from New Orleans to, a little bit more like cleaned up, you know what I'm saying? It's a big difference, bro. So I'm like, Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm trying to get more comfortable speaking that way. Like just talk, just I worked at corporate jobs before. I worked at Apple
Yeah,
for like 3 years. So yeah, I had to like speak proper English. But even then, it was like a little bit of challenge. Like New Orleans will come out a lot, which is okay. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's who.
because that's where you're from. Like that's the
Yeah,
reality.
that's what it is. But it's like where I'm from though, and the way we speak though, that ain't nowhere near office appropriate. You feel me?
I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
like that.
yeah, bitch, you hear me? Like, get your stupid ass. That's how we talk, bro. Like, it's crazy, dog. Like, I'm sorry, bro. It's crazy, bro. And I know New York, y'all kind of got like, y'all got a deep lingo.
It's a little bit more. It's just it's an aggressive. I think I won't say aggressive in a negative way. I just
Nah,
think
it's not.
direct.
Yeah, it's direct.
Yeah, it's direct.
Yeah, y'all say little things here and there, but I think y'all a lot more proper English, even within that than we are.
For sure,
You know what I'm
because you got to think about it too, like just the nature of being next to like
Washington
places with
D.C.
money.
Oh,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like
yeah.
you're gonna be next to Wall Street. You're gonna be next to even 42nd Street. You're gonna have to be able to converse with a lot of different people. So
Mhm.
no matter where you're from in New York, you still have to kind of, if you're trying to really get some money, you
Yeah.
kind of really got to know how to mix with other people and
Mhm.
like know how to talk to them.
Mhm.
So I think that that's probably one of the things that influences it a lot. And then
Mhm.
also, originally I grew up in DC too.
Oh, for
So
real?
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
you were
I was
born
born
in
in
New
DC.
Orleans. Well, you're born in New York though.
No, I was born in DC.
You was born in DC.
Born in
Okay.
DC, moved to New York when I was 16.
Really? I
Yeah,
didn't know that, bro.
yep, yeah. I was
Dang.
born in DC.
Okay.
Both my parents went to Howard. That's why. Yeah,
They met at Howard.
both my parents went to Howard. Both my parents and my uncle actually went to
Okay.
Howard.
Yeah.
And my parents had me mad young, so
How old were they?
20 and 21.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't say mad young, but
It
like
was
in
young.
college, you know what I'm saying? Like they were
Yeah.
in undergrad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I grew up around there, and then my
Mhm.
pops moved first up
Mhm.
north to Philly,
Mhm.
um, Philly area, like South Jersey,
Yeah.
and then he worked in Philly, and then my mom ended up moving up to Harlem, and
Mhm.
that's how I got to Harlem. Yeah,
Mm. I
man.
didn't know
Yeah,
that, bro. That's
yeah.
crazy.
I'm already
I thought you were stayed in New York.
Nah,
Yeah.
I'm in high school at that point too. So it's crazy because you you in high school at the same time with other people in high school. You're not from there, they're from there. You gotta think
Mhm.
it's 2005, it's 2006, 2007. Bro, it's like
Mhm.
it's prime JoJo's, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Santana era.
Right.
Like
Right. Right. Right.
he's just on their big Billy shit
For
at that
sure.
point in time. So
100%.
it's like you have to adjust super fast.
What was that adjustment like for you though, bro? Like, what was the big difference first? What was the big difference from DC to New York, and then what was the adjustment like?
The big difference is the pace.
Mm.
The thing about New York is like niggas is really first of all, people are really outside in a way that is different.
Mm.
They're outside with the cars. I
Mm.
think in other places you're outside and it's just kind of outside.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're outside, it's a plot of land. Your niggas are literally outside. You might sit on somebody's, porch, but it's a more slow circumstance.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
being outside of New York is like being active.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You're walking up and down the block. You're going to do shit. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're sitting down on the block, you're moving. You're physically moving a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's an act, and the street is moving around you. There's other people moving around you.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's and I feel like when you're from other places, other people are moving around, but they're moving around this central thing. They're moving around the
Mm.
basketball court. They're moving around, the park. They're moving around this certain thing. In New York, niggas is moving in and out the scene.
Mm.
It's almost like a show, like for real, like
Mhm.
to where nigga like a play, where it's like one setting, but it's mad characters coming in and out that bitch all
Mhm.
day. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So like, and you're moving now, you're going to do different shit, and like now it's mad cars happening. So
Mhm.
to me, I think that was just it's hard to get used to focusing on that many different things at one point in time, and then this nigga is talking to you a lot. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you
Right.
wonder like why is
Right.
he talking to me that much because he doesn't know me. Nobody here is that nice. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So now you got to be attuned to the fact that he might be trying to lie you. You know
Right. Right. Right.
what I'm saying? So now your mindset is just very much so like I think it's a hyper awareness that
Mhm.
comes with being in New York that you don't have anywhere else.
Mhm.
Um, where unless you're a part of a certain lifestyle somewhere else, you understand?
Mhm.
New York is just more inherent that
Mhm.
like Nigga, it's just so much happening. You sitting on a train, you fall asleep, you get kicked in the head because the nigga is doing cartwheels from off the, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh,
The bed and some
yeah, I've
type
seen
shit. So
that.
like, you gotta really,
Yeah.
everything is like P's and Q's for the thing.
And I feel like y'all so close,
Yeah,
like just everything, just the way that
on top of each other.
yeah, New York is structured, like
Yeah.
housing, everything is just like right next to each other, right? So like if you coming outside, like people gonna be outside because it's right there, there ain't no space.
Where else they gonna be?
Well, they gonna be.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you really think about it, and the other thing too, is just a lot of different cultures
Yeah.
in one little area, right? So you got your little Muslim community, you got your small little Hispanics, then you got your Dominicans, your Puerto Ricans, you know, you got a lot of different black populations that when I was in DC, okay, this is another thing that was a big ass difference, I ain't gonna lie. In DC, right? Or in Maryland,
Yeah.
black at the time at least,
Yeah.
was just black.
Yeah.
Niggas wasn't, you was Jamaican at home. Honestly, you were Nigerian at home. Like we just knew you as black, and then once you found out, you were like, oh, this nigga eats different food. Like, oh yeah, he Nigerian. You understand? But like, that wasn't what they were leading with. It wasn't like, hey, I'm Nigerian, unless you were from Nigeria. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, you were just truthfully, you was just black. Everybody was black.
Right.
In New York, everybody is what their culture are. Like, nah, I'm Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? Before they ever say I'm a black man, they're like, oh, I'm Jamaican. They're also black. But the first thing that they're saying is I'm Jamaican or I'm Trinidadian or and I think that was very different because niggas is like, what you mean? Like when you say black, like how?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like the one from South Carolina. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's all I had. Like, so I think that was a big transition. Harlem was very much so black because Harlem was a black epicenter. Brooklyn too, but Brooklyn is still very their culture is Caribbean. It's very Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? So it's everybody kind of expects you to be Caribbean in Brooklyn. I think at least that was my experience.
So you grew up in Harlem, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 155th and St.
So you was with like you like you mentioned, you said Santana, Canberra, right?
I mean, I wasn't rolling, but
you know what I'm saying? You was there when they were like the
big thing for sure.
What year that was?
So that's 2000. That's probably like 04.
But you right after that.
I'm right after that.
Gotcha.
And then the big rise that I'm there for that's really crazy is rocking them for real, because they were regular.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they were throwing parties and shit like that. Like niggas were really regular for a long time, where we were of the same age range. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you were going to parties and then you were like, oh shit, these niggas is really downtown. Or like I think there was these two twins, bro. Not gonna lie. Oh, I remember the names. Drakeford. Them niggas, bro, was the two flyest. They had all the Rick Owen Geo baskets. I'm talking 07.
They was ASAP?
No, these niggas were just they were one of the first niggas on Tumblr, I want to say. But they was really on a Fly Harlem shit for real. But like real different in terms of the brands that they were wearing at the time for sure. You know what I'm saying? Niggas really wasn't wearing Rick like that. Niggas wasn't wearing, this is 07. You know what I'm saying? 06. Like niggas really.
So you feel like they the ones who really introduced that to New York, or was it because ASAP Rocky, he the one would be like,
I won't say like versus Rocky or whatever the case may be, but I think that era ushered in a different sort of swag for sure. I would say that it was Harlem in general. Like I don't know who you could point to and say it, but I think Harlem and the Lower East Side, those places. But even Lower East Side to me is like, I don't think of them as fly for real. I think of Harlem as fly, right? So Harlem niggas was really the first that was doing shit like that. Like when you think of New York, you think of Brooklyn, you think of Harlem. You know what I'm saying? You think of the Bronx, Conda, Queens, right? But you think of Brooklyn and Harlem, right? At the end of the day, you got to put it to the perspective of, to me, Harlem was always the niggas that was getting fly. Unless you're talking about jerseys, Harlem was always really getting jiggy and doing different shit. So I think at that time, to be growing up in that space at that time, you really get like the Riverbank Park days was real cool because everybody was actually trying to get fly. Niggas was trying to do something different. You know what I'm saying?
What's that scene looking like?
So it's like a big ass park, bro. Right by the freeway. You know what I'm saying? So it's mad cars like passing directly underneath you. You got the whole kind of, you're looking at Jersey, but you're looking at all of like Empire everything that's kind of happening like right through the top of Harlem, right? So you got the GW Bridge right there. Like it's just kind of a clean vibe in terms of just what it looks like. And then you got 300, 400 people in the park. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's selling nutcrackers. Nutcrackers is like pre-made.
So it's like music,
parties, music, like parties, food, liquor. Of course, you know, everything that comes with all of the things we set up. And yeah, man, and the freedom of being a young nigga that's excited, got your own, you know, got your own little money for the first time because you got a little job because you're 19,
So you popped out when you was when you felt like you was really in the scene, you felt like 16, 17, 18, 19, what?
16, 17, I was really school was hooping, bro.
You played
yeah, my dad was a big basketball coach. So I was really trying to hoop. I went to private school. That was really what I was doing for like you live there, you go and you go home. We hang out on the weekends, you feel me? But like truthfully,
did your dad play at Howard or?
Nah, my dad didn't play at Howard, but he was just a coach though.
Gotcha.
So he was a coach all through shit my time. Even when I didn't live with him, he was like coaching. So yeah, so and the school that I went to, so Deion Waiters went to my high school. Who? Deion Waiters. He played,
I remember him.
For Cleveland.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 4 pick.
So you went there when you was there?
Yeah, same time.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we got shit. I'm the shortest person by far on my team. You know what I'm saying? Everybody we had like 7-footers on our squad. A lot of kids from Europe. It was a prep school, so you could go to pretty much like 19 instead of 18, right? So we had a lot of niggas that could really hoop. And then you know in college, you know.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Stony Brook, which is a D1 school.
You played ball?
No, I didn't end up playing because I was just honestly, I got there and I was like, bro, I don't want to wake up at 5 in the morning.
Right.
Bro. I don't want to wake up at 5 in the morning. I want to party, you know, and I didn't want to play D2. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you started for a little bit and then it's like, nah, I'm cool on this. Like, and I was able to still get a scholarship with my grades. So it was like, I ain't paying for it. So I ain't tripping, you know, like
school was on point.
It was all right. Took it with my left hand.
Yeah, what?
That ass. Cause I actually, my shit's still fucked up ugly right now to this day. But I broke my finger before my SAT. Wow. My whole shit, my left hand.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
What you wind up getting? You want to tell your score? You remember?
Nah, I definitely don't remember my score.
You remember?
It was good enough to get to school. Good enough to get to school. That shit worked out the way I needed it to. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, man, like shit. I think just the key things that was really different was just that, like, you gotta know how to talk in New York. You know what I'm saying? Because you could talk your way into something or talk your way out of something a lot. You know what I mean? Because so much is happening. You know what I mean? So if somebody's pressing you, they're really pressing you for 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like somewhere else, it ain't shit else to do. Niggas is on your ass all day. You know what I mean? Whereas like in New York, it's other things to do. So like people is like kind of messing with you, but they're messing with you quickly. So if you know how to handle yourself, you're oftentimes pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So at least in my experience, I never really had nothing that I was personally and that was crazy. I always had respect to the people that was where, you know, my general area was, and I wasn't going.
You know what? You know, it's crazy because I feel like New York has like a rep of being like a super hard city, and it's the truth to that. But I feel like any New Yorker I ever met was like the nicest, coolest people, downest people. You feel me? Like non-judgmental, just chilling, like especially compared to like the West Coast and LA.
Sure, bro.
Like I just feel like New Yorkers, they just like whatever it is, bro. Just cool. They here for the love. I feel like y'all outwardly show more love. You feel me?
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. Like
I think that's a part of the vibe, a part of the swag, because it's like niggas want to, you know, big up you because that's a part of the energy. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely love that. And then I think at the same token, like the thing I always say is like New York is not nice, but it's kind. You feel me? Like so people. If you fall in front of me, I'm gonna pick you up. You know what I'm saying? Now we're not about to talk about your boo-boo and how much it hurt you or whatever. I might not even exchange pleasantries and be like, "Are you okay?" I might not say none of that, but I'm gonna help you up. Right. Now in LA, if somebody say I trip and fall in front of somebody, they like, "Oh, are you okay?" But ain't nobody gonna pick me up.
Right, right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Niggas gonna look at me and be like, I asked, are you okay? It's like, but I need help, nigga.
Right,
Like,
right,
you know, so
right.
I think that's the
That's a great
difference
analogy.
for sure.
Yeah, I feel that. I always think I told you this before. I feel like the West Coast is like a feminine coast, and then the East Coast more masculine, like masculine energy, and you can see that even just through the females as well.
Yeah,
But I also feel like because it's more
for
feminine
sure.
energy here, or this in general, it's more like passive aggressive, right?
Yes.
And then East Coast obviously just more. This is what it is. Y'all don't have time to really
It's
be
aggressive.
sugarcoating shit. It's
Yeah,
like this is
bro.
what it is. And then boom, here it's like they'll say whatever, but in front of your face, but it may be different. How they really feel about it. They ain't gonna really tell you up front out here.
Right. Somebody just like it'll ghost you a little bit differently. Whereas in New York,
Exactly.
somebody will like just walk away from your face, which they're still ghosting you, but they're just doing it in a way that
Right.
is so brazen that it's like
Right.
you know exactly how I feel.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like literally turning their back on you. You feel me? Like who turns
Yeah.
their back on people? Like the drama, I think, of New York is something that is irreplaceable
Mhm.
anywhere else because everything is bigger. Everybody wants to be a superstar. Everybody wants to
Mhm.
be, you know what I'm saying? They want to, we all want this, you know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like, which that's everywhere, but I think the energy of the entire city is
Mhm.
that.
So you feel like New York and Harlem, it kind of is what inspired you to get into fashion, or that's something that you was like that was in you before then, or
It
it
was always in me.
was always.
It was always in me because the reality of it is I moved around a lot as a kid,
Mhm.
right? So like I said, my parents wasn't together.
Yeah.
So some years I lived with my pops,
Yeah.
some years I lived with my mom.
Mhm.
So I would be back and forth, and also just the nature of like going through school, you're gonna
Mhm.
change schools and shit, right?
Yeah.
So I was often the new kid at school. I never went to a single school more than 2 years other than
Mhm.
college, right? I
Mhm.
was always transferring or doing something different, right?
Yeah.
So the way that I would get cool with people was what I was wearing at the
Mhm.
time. It was jerseys, it was sneakers, it was Jordans, it was
Mhm.
if I couldn't get no Jordans because my father wouldn't buy me none, I would just get the flyest color
Mhm.
of whatever was on the sale rack.
Mhm.
For real, for real.
Yeah.
So like there will always be some ill suede Nikes that were in like a all solid color. So I would get the purple joints. I would get the red joints. I would get, you know what I'm saying, shit that niggas wasn't really rocking, but it
Mhm.
looked cool. And
Mhm.
so that would make
You'll put
people
it
come fuck
together.
with me.
You'll put it together good. You feel
Exactly,
me?
because I wasn't able to spend the money on it. Not even
Right.
that my dad didn't have no money. It wasn't even that as the reason. The
Mhm.
nigga just wasn't buying me. He was anti Jordan. Like not
Why
Jordan
was it?
himself, just money. Like I'm not
Mhm.
spending $100 on those sneakers. That was his rule.
Mhm.
Not spending $100 on those sneakers. Not for you.
Mhm.
So you know, we was getting whatever was 80 or 70 or 90. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. So um, one of the shoes that I had that I really fucked with, bro, was the Vandals.
Vandals, what's those? I'm not familiar.
So they look low key like a high top Air Force, but it's taller than an Air Force, right? And then the upper is all like ripstop. So it's like so imagine, right? Like a sneaker, a Air Force
Yeah.
that stops up here, Air Force One
Mhm.
high, that stops all the way up here,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And it's got all the like a ripstop nylon
Mhm.
is the fabric all
Mhm.
through the whole thing, and it looks like an Air Force kind of in the front.
Mhm.
Then it has a soft strap on top that you could keep on or take off, and
Mhm.
it's thicker like a Force, instead of like a blazer.
How you got onto that?
Honestly, bro, like
Just,
just walking in the stores, at the
Mhm.
time that we're at, this is like fucking what, oh 03, oh 04. You could
Mhm.
walk into a store
Mhm.
and get something that was fly. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So that was really what I was doing. You walk in and you walk in with a budget. So,
Mhm.
you know, me being a parent to this day, it's almost like my parents kind of raised me to think about how to style. I have $500. What am I gonna get that's gonna be iller than the rest of these niggas
Mhm.
for weeks?
Mhm.
You feel me? Like not just am I gonna get one fit,
Mhm.
I gotta get fit that I can use a
Mhm.
lot, and that's gonna be fire for the next, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
couple months until my parents take me back here.
Right.
So or either that or the outlet. So you gotta get the right shirt, you gotta get the right pants, you gotta know that pant can go with 7 different things. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think that really just kind of sparked it,
Mhm.
and I knew that other people would relate to me off of clothing, and I would relate to other people off of clothing and be like, yo, I fuck with that. Like,
Mhm.
shit, even think about how we got connected. Like,
Mhm.
I fuck with what you got going on. So it will make people talk to you. And I always knew that. You know what I'm saying? So that really is what kind of made me always have fashion inside of me. But really getting into fashion was really because I wasn't even trying to be in fashion, honestly. My whole idea was that I was gonna work on Wall Street. And
what you got a degree in?
I ended up getting my degree in damn, what did I get my degree? It's sociology.
Okay.
I ended up getting my degree in sociology.
Okay.
And then I have a fashion merchandising management degree as well. An associate's. But I ended up, not going down the business route really because I got kicked out of college my senior year. I got kicked out of Stony Brook my senior year because I got arrested and I got a case for police brutality.
Just fighting the police, bro?
Nah, man. That's what they said I was doing.
What you was doing, bro?
Bro, that's what they said I was doing. I swear to God.
Tell us a story, man.
All right, bro. So look, we shit not even that. It shouldn't even go and how it went. Me and my man go to smoke a blunt. Right? We're in college. We're young niggas. When you come out onto the balcony, right? Most times you put a little clip and so you put something inside of the door so that you can get back in because it's a storm door. You can't get back in outside of the little key card joint that's downstairs. Right. Now we on the 4th floor. It's a courtyard down here, right? And on our campus, it's a state school, so we have actual police. I didn't really know that. I thought that these niggas was mall cops. I didn't know these niggas was real cops. I had no idea that they were like real live cops. Right. So when I get there my freshman year, I get into a little squabble with these white boys. And also where we are in Long Island is actually wild racist. And I'm young and cocky. When a cop pulls up, he pulls up with a gun. Me, I'm like, man, fuck you. I'm talking to him. I'm 18. I'm talking to him stupid. I'm like, man, fuck you. Like, nigga, you are definitely not gonna shoot me. I remember this shit vividly. I'm literally telling this nigga, I'm like, if you shoot me, I promise you Al Sharpton will be up here tomorrow. I'm talking to him nuts. Mind you, this is pre-Trayvon. This is pre that.
Al Sharpton.
I'm dead ass though. I'm so serious in my head. And you know what I'm saying? A young me, I really believe in that shit. I'm like, because I'm like, I'm more pissed off. Like, bro, why the fuck would you even pull out a gun in this circumstance?
He put the gun out on you.
The nigga jumped out the car with the gun out.
What? For what?
That's what I'm saying. We had gotten into a fight with these white boys. I had a tire iron, but I didn't hit nobody with it. You know what I'm saying? And I had a flat tire. Logic. You feel me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we only use these. I just grabbed it because it was more of them than it was us.
Gotcha.
So they kind of spread. Right. Cop pulls up. When the cop pulls up, a couple of the white boys are there, but most of them is kind of leaving type shit. He pulls up directly to us, hops out, with it out. Right? So when he does that, I'm also with my friends. You know what I'm saying? What Kendrick says is, it's peer pressure. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I think at the time too, I was just like, man, fuck this nigga. Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I still feel that way, but like, that's not how you should handle that at all. You know what I mean? But that was how I handled it at the time. And you could tell that the nigga was scared. And you know when somebody's scared and you like pressing this white dude. Yeah. Little short white dude with the crew cut. You know them type of cops.
For sure.
Excited cop.
Right.
Very excited. Just did this. Just got off the academy.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Excited to do this shit. Nigga, name is Officer Zotos. Never forget the nigga's name.
Right.
He's actually the police chief now. No bullshit.
Harlem?
No, in Long Island. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, that nigga is like actually. But at the time, he's like fresh out, hype. And you could tell he's scared.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing the issue on him because I know he's scared. I see it, and again, that's that like arrogant energy. And I think that's that New York energy because when you can see somebody scared, you gonna I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna make sure you see it. Right. And so like I was doing that and I shouldn't have did that. Now fast forward this now, we end up dispersing, nothing happened, I don't get in trouble for the situation, whatever the case may be. But I'm talking to him crazy. He obviously never forgot that shit. 3 years later, it's my senior year. Me and my man now, we on the balcony, we go to light up to go smoke. As soon as my man lights the blunt, see a light come up. They're like, hey, what you doing? Damn. Now, I'm not supposed to be there because had like a month where I was supposed to be able to get back in my dorm, but I was staying in my girl's dorm at the time.
Yeah.
But technically I was trespassing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I know that when the cops come up, we can't get back in there. And we had just did a program that was like how to deal with police. And if they're not, you know, which is factual, but if they're not arresting or detaining you, you are free to go, which is technically the law. Now, no police officer is gonna let you do that. But at the time, I didn't know that. I'm just thinking I know my rights. You know what I'm saying? So now they come up and the officer's like, you know, asking for ID or whatever the case may be. Now I'm like, do you have a reason to detain us? One of the officers is like, no. You know, because again, they're like, they are kind of mall cops, but they're not at the same time.
Yeah.
But this cop that it is, the other cop, is the same cop from when I'm 18.
For sure. Yeah.
Same exact nigga.
Right.
Like not a nigga like him. Like the actual nigga is him. So he recognized me. Now he's up in the ante. He's pushing the issue. He's like, and I'm like, well, so now I feel that I'm like, well, if we're not being arrested or detained, I'm free to go. So I go to walk away. As soon as I go to walk away, clubs me. And they're like, oh, so now it's a problem. They're like, get down on the ground. I'm like, I'm not getting down on the ground. Again, it's college. Nigga, we've been drinking, everybody. It's nothing but beer bottles around here. And I'm not scared at the time because I'm just thinking it's just a little tussle. It's just normal, not normal with the police, but just normal shit as a person.
Right.
You feel me? Like, and he's like, oh, get down on the ground, get down on the ground. I'm like, I'm not getting down on the ground. My hands are up. I'm no threat to you. You feel me? Like, there's no reason for me to, I'm not laying on the ground, but I'll stand up with my hands up. He's like, nah. So now they're trying to wrestle me down to the ground. And the course of wrestling me down to the ground, I guess the dude says he hurts his wrists. And they make up some story that I tried to throw one of them off the balcony, off the 4th floor balcony. Now you tell me if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I do that? So that's the whole situation. I end up going to jail. And even still, when it happens, now my face is fucked up. I still got a scar on my hand. Shit's crazy, right? My whole lip split, everything. They're carrying me through the courtyard. You know what I'm saying? They're carrying me through the courtyard. And we got like international students. They're recording my face and shit. Like, shit was mad embarrassing. It was terrible. And so I end up actually going to jail. I didn't think I was gonna go to jail, but I really went to jail for like a little minute.
How long you been in jail for?
3 months. And so in New York,
a minute.
You got to think about it too. If you don't make bail, you got to sit down, and it's cash bail only. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, bro. Like I had felony charges, so I had high ass bail. You know what I'm saying? And so the only reason I actually end up making my bail is because of my Pell Grant refund. They would give you like $5,000 every month, every semester. Yeah. And so I end up that shit hits like in the 3rd month
for sure,
and
boom,
get me out of here, bro.
Right.
But that shit was crazy though, man. Like that shit was just like that shit reshaped everything. And so then I couldn't go back to school, so that's how I ended up going to FIT because I'm like, well, I got to do something different. I had been working at Burberry as like. Not even a sales associate, bro.
Yeah.
I started off during the holiday season as a gift wrapper. So that was what I was doing in college. And at the time, it was good money. She was like $20. You know what I'm saying? What else was paying $20? And then
that's good money.
Yeah, it was great money. So they converted me that into like a junior essay, which basically I was just running. You know, I would go get the shoes for people at the time. You know, but they don't even have that job anymore. Cut budgets for shit like that. But yeah, that was my job, how I first started. And I just remember thinking like, yo, what the fuck am I gonna do? I can't do nothing I thought I was gonna do anymore.
Because you got the felony?
Yeah, like now so I end up, you know, getting it to where like I'm on probation, but I now have to go to check in. If I ever get in trouble, that shit all comes back. You know what I'm saying? So it was only for a year that I was on probation. But like it was like if I had gotten in trouble in that year, everything would have came back. You feel me? So like I'm like, yo, my shit is fucked up. And it sits on my record for 7 years. So even then they could just look at it. And so I'm like, damn, what job can I get? Well, the only job I could get is in fashion is really what I'm thinking. Because I'm like, man, everybody do drugs in fashion. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck what their background is. I could get in fashion and music. And that was really what I was thinking. And at the time, so again, I mentioned our hoop. My man coming up is Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
So I go out right after I get out of jail. I end up running in the car. He's won Rookie of the Year. Go to this Rookie of the Year party, and we're fucking having a blast, right? He's like, yo, we should live together this summer. You know, nigga be drunk and shit. But like, he really meant that shit. So I'm like,
did you go to the same school as you?
nah.
No, high school.
Nah, we played against each other.
Okay.
But now we didn't go to the same school.
Kyrie, nice. Kyrie, my favorite athlete, bro.
That nigga's tough.
Yeah, I just sent him some stuff.
Been tough.
I just sent him some. I sent him the glasses and everything, bro.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
You got make sure you got it to him?
Yeah, he got it.
All right, bet.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, keep going, bro.
Yeah. So we end up right after we win Rookie of the Year. We end up in Vegas. You know that video, like the USA team where he crosses up. Cross up Kobe.
Yeah,
whole thing. So we were together that weekend. Right, we didn't been together that whole weekend. He going to practice.
Right.
Vibing out in Vegas. Right. I come back. We come back from practice. This nigga done got. I'm talking about from the wall, from this part of the wall to that part of the wall, all lined up with sneakers, fly shit. Now this nigga is a wizard. No, Hermes, Louis Vuitton, just the shit, right? Mind you, I know you. Like you're a wizard with the basketball. With the fly shit, that's not your thing.
That's not your thing.
Saying, like you come in my closet. You feel me? So
right.
Pause. But like like to me, I'm like, where you get all this shit from?
Right.
Ain't no way that you bought this yourself. You know what I'm saying? No, like I know you, no way.
Right.
He's like, nah, I paid the stylist. I'm like, what you mean? Like, what does that mean? Like when you say stylist, he like, pay the stylist $8,000 to shop for me. Now I'm getting to thinking, I'm like, nigga, we literally went to the store yesterday and I pointed out to you the flyest all metal Hermes belt at the time and you bought it. And I'm like, so that's the job you just paid some $8,000? I don't got no thousands of dollars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So as soon as he says the number, I'm like, boom, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how to do that already. I don't got to learn to do that. I don't got to do nothing. There's no onboarding to that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, we just did this.
Right.
So that was really what sparked the idea. We come back from Vegas. I come home. And I'm like, all right, bet, what am I going to do? I'm going to go sit out in front of Barney's. Barney's is the store. It's the store on 59th Street in Madison. It's like the shit at the time, still the shit. Right? I will wait there every day for niggas to come out of studio services, which is where all the stylists got their clothes from. So I will wait for June Ambrose. I will wait for Rachel Johnson, who is LeBron's stylist. I will wait for fucking everybody, bro. Like, just wait for the top people to walk out. When I would recognize them, I would just run down on them and be like, listen, hey, how you doing? My name is Anthony. I want to be a stylist, and nobody would ever give me a shot. But niggas would tell me certain things every once in a while because you would catch people in vulnerable spots. So niggas would be like, yo, just see if you get a job in studio services. I'm like, oh, boom, that's mad smart. All right, cool. Because at first I was just hanging out in front of the store. Then somebody told me about studio services. Then I would hang out for the studio services. Then they told me to get a job. I'm like, oh, that shit makes sense.
So studio service, what's studio service?
Studio services is where it's this portion of the retail store where you can consign clothing, right? So you could take out clothing for 14 days or 7 days, take it off the floor, sell it to your client, and then return what you didn't purchase. Right. So that instead of stylists just buying directly off the floor and taking all their stock, the studio services people would create separate orders just for them. Right. And so that was a place where you had relationships, and that was as a stylist, that's a relationship you want to have. You want to be able to get the hot shit. You want to be able to get the shit that's only in Miami and you're in New York. And now you don't have to fly to Miami and Saks to get this shit or call them 8, 10, 15 times, see if they have it, and somebody's holding it in the back. You know, people do shit like that. Whereas in this, you got all the shit accessible to you, you know? So it was a relationship of need. So June was actually told me that. She's like, yo, like, see if you get a job in studio services because it's something that we need. I'm like, damn, that makes mad sense. Well, so fast forward, I end up getting a job at Saks. I run their studio services and did that for 5 years, and that was pretty much how I met everybody, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm meeting niggas, instead of running down on them, they need me, you know, and I won't say they need me individually, but they need my job. You know what I'm saying? So
need what you can do.
Yeah, it just put it in a position to where I could create a more genuine relationship because I'm not immediately coming asking for something. I'm offering what I offer. So now they can see me working and see me and be like, oh, this nigga does know all the fly shit. He knows everybody at the store. He knows where this is. He knows the brands before they even get here. He knows the buyers. He knows to buy how many pieces in the collection. You know what I'm saying? He knows that they showed in Paris at this point in time. So now they're like, okay. And he got the fly shit on. The shit that we don't even sell in Saks yet. So at the time, I'm wearing scallop t-shirts and shit like that. And like, niggas, they didn't have that in the store yet. Right? So that was just you had to get it from brands in London. You know what I'm saying? You had to find brands online and get busy with that. And so, I was wearing a lot of that shit at that time, and like people were asking, like one of the shows that was big was Power, like that was like just kind of starting off, and they're like they want to do all that shit for Tommy, like where can we get that from? So I would let them know where they could get it from, and that's how people started to fuck with me for real. And a lot of the costume designers, because it wasn't just stylists, it's the costume designers too. So the shows, and it just opened my whole mind up to how much the world is influenced not by even fashion and the business of fashion, but like literally clothing, like directly garments. You know what I'm saying? I think that was the thing that was everybody was building a character. And I was like, that's what I do. That's what I'm used to doing. When you move around a lot, you got to either make yourself a character or understand all these other people's characters. Because you got to remember that you've met somebody like that before. So that you know that that nigga might be a little bit shady. It doesn't mean that he is. But it means that you should be on high alert because you know what that was like last time, right? So I think that is the same way I approach life. So when I saw all people approaching a job like that, I'm like, oh, nigga, no brainer. I'm doing this shit, and I'm doing this shit to the fullest. And that was really how it took off. And I knew I wasn't afraid of no athlete proportions because nigga, I done fought somebody 6'8" on the bus because I was upset. You know what I'm saying? And I'm small as shit. I'm 5'8". You know what I mean? And so I wasn't afraid of the clothing proportion. I knew that body type. It wasn't scary to me. You know what I mean? There was no awe factor of being like, oh my God, that's LeBron. It was just like, yes, that's LeBron. I love that. And I think I have high reverence. Or yes, that's Cam Newton. I have high reverence for the fact that that's Cam Newton. And nigga, you built like sheetrock. Sure. But it never felt weird to like have a normal conversation and like dress them or even assert myself where truthfully you got to think the role of a stylist is I got to be so ill with me, so comfortable with me that I can make you low key want to dress like me, want to be like me. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot. You got to be able to influence that shit a lot because somebody has to be able to trust your opinion, you know, and they have to be able to say like, oh, not only can they dress themselves, but can you make me who I want to be? Not who you want me to be, who I want to be. And that's like, you know, that's a whole different vibe. You got to really be able to read another person, in my opinion, and do it well. Now the game has changed now, but at the time, that was how I viewed it, and that was really what it was about. Like finding ways to get this person to express what they're trying to express to the best of their ability, and finding the pieces that do that. Yeah, finding the pieces that tell that story.
Right. Yeah, I think I did a little bit of style. You know, I'm a designer, but I see that, you know, exactly what you're saying. People are gonna want what they're comfortable with. Me, not being like I guess experienced, like I'm just like, nah, like this is what you need to wear. You feel me? Like this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I think you got to just be balanced in that. You know, people if they're comfortable, balanced with their comfortability as well as just pushing them. You know, maybe about with one piece here, one piece there, just having them get a little bit more comfortable with something different. You know?
Right. Right. And seeing themselves differently. You know, I think that's part of the thing too. Like, because we might be willing to push a boundary, somebody else is not.
Exactly.
You feel me? Like so, like, and you and by even presenting that option, you might get them to see it left or right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just you got to know like how to approach it, in my opinion.
And I think it's building relationships and really getting to know that person too over time. And obviously, like you probably won't want to throw something out right away that's pushing the boundary, like when
Right.
first building that relationship. Like, okay, we're gonna go along. Maybe once you build that rapport with them, then they have more faith in you, stuff like that. You can put that recommendation.
Get them that thing that you was trying to explain for a minute.
Exactly. Right.
And that was always the thing that I like too, because it's like, bro, like I can take somebody that is viewed this way and help them be viewed this way, even if that is something that people don't like or do like. That's neither here nor there. The whole point is that you're offering a different viewpoint on a particular individual, right? That aligns with wherever they are at that time. And again, that kind of brings back to just seeing yourself or seeing errors of yourself in your style. You know what I'm saying? And to me, my favorite like artists and stuff like that, they always did that.
Like, different areas you can see it within their style is different moments in their movie and their story.
Their
right?
whole thing.
It's like, yeah.
And you know what it is. You can identify it. You know what I'm saying? And
you know
I think you got music or you have film or you have whatever it is that completes that story, you know, and the character that they are is based on what they're wearing.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that, bro. This is Claiborne, right? Stylist, creative director. What else you do, brother?
Now creating short films, designing, you know, shit, just trying to run out as much creative juice as I possibly can, and then also consulting. So from a business side, consulting B2B, obviously you're consulting for your athlete clients to be able to help them with partnerships and marketing partnerships in the fashion space. But or concierge within the fashion space. But you know, realistically, it's also about B2B too.
About what?
B2B, business to business.
Right.
You know what I mean? So getting other businesses to work with other businesses, getting partnerships in that way. You know, that's always what I'm trying to push the envelope towards as well, from a pure business side. But in terms of the creative, yeah, bro, I really want to like run out as much creative capacity as I have for myself. You know, as a stylist, you come in doing such a small but big version of it. You've got your version of the story. Somebody handed you the script and it's like, I do this. You know what I'm saying? And you have creative control, right? You can do it how you want to do it, but at the same time, you're not creating the entirety of the character. And so there might be a piece of that character that you would change and would then create different wardrobe and create different options, right? So to me, being able to see the entirety of the chessboard and influence that is really where I want to move myself ultimately, you know, because I think that's what all the greats that I fuck with have done.
So where are you at in that process at the moment? Like getting there, like what is it?
I'm gonna be completely honest. Right now, where I am in the process is stepping back, stripping it down, and stripping it down this time without burning it down. And I think that that's like a real spiritual place
we can talk about spiritual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's definitely a different space. And sometimes it can be scarier to talk about because you feel like, damn, I'm not doing as much as I used to do. And that's true. But that's also the intention of this timeline, right? So yeah, that's where I am with it right now. But like really re-strategizing, because I think sometimes when you do something that you're good at, you forget to love it. And when you forget to love it, it doesn't love you back. And now you hurt. And it's hurt. And you're like, it's like a relationship, right? And I think that's where I was at with styling, where I was going through so much in my outside life that I was really just looking at it like this is literally just my job. And like I'm just doing this. And it's like, bro, you miss the spot of I get to do this. You know what I mean? And like I get to do this. Not like these perks are worth it and I enjoy it, but like I create out of my brain and therefore feed my family with it. And that's how I used to approach it when I was really in love. I was when I was loving it properly and it was loving me properly. Even though I was kind of like unhappy, I still was approaching it from a perspective of like my brain feeds my people.
Mhm.
You
So
know,
when was the moment where you felt like you was in love, and then the moment that you started to kind of fall out?
say it one more time.
What was the moment where you felt like you was in love with the
Uh-huh.
process, with love with being a stylist, and then what moment was it where you feel like you kind of fell away from the love of it? Can you identify those moments?
I can identify the time frame.
Okay.
So I think around the time that my pops was dying,
Mm,
and then also prior to that, COVID. COVID hit and everything stopped.
so around
And my shit
2020.
was, yeah, 2020. So
Okay.
2019, 2020.
Okay.
To really 2019. Well, I wouldn't say that I fell out of love with it in 2019, but it just came to a halt. It's the end of 2019 going into 2020. Yeah.
Hmm.
So um, everything stopped. So, bro, I left my son is born December 9th, 2019. And I left the hospital,
Hmm.
went to work. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do. I go get this money. I
Hmm.
get this chicken. This is what I'm doing. And I was just doing my thing.
Hmm.
Doing everything was lining up in my mind, like
Hmm.
ready to blow.
Hmm.
And then the world stopped.
Hmm.
And at that point, that shit felt like a gut punch because it's like, damn, I didn't spend all this time getting it, and like I'm right there. I just did the Met Gala. You know what I'm saying? I'm there. I just did Paris Fashion Week.
When did you start styling? When did you start like being professionally like a stylist? What year?
I left 27. I left Saks 2017.
Okay,
2017.
so you had
And
like 3 solid years,
yeah,
2, 3 years.
2, 3 years where I was assisting and like just figuring it out.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where really I was assisting. I didn't have my own private clients. 18 is when I get my first private client,
Gotcha.
which is Omari Hardwick. I
Who?
mean, Omari Hardwick.
Okay, okay,
Ghost from Power.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So and he's in the height of power when
Mm-hmm.
I get him.
Mm-hmm.
So that was huge. Nigga,
For sure.
I was watching the show
Mm-hmm.
with a girl
Mm-hmm.
smoking, and I'm like, I'm gonna dress that nigga. And then I really went and did it. You know what I'm saying?
So you went intentionally to go dress them, or it just lined up that way?
It lined up where I had the opportunity,
Right.
um, but I was intentional about wanting to dress him for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Now I didn't even really shoot my shot. It actually didn't really happen like that. It actually happened to where like he kind of chose me,
Mm-hmm.
which was cool. Because I had a lot. The first celebrity that the first celebrity I work with is that I'm like, that's my person is Joe Budden.
Okay.
But the first celebrity that I had that was like really big that I had access to, and that was with a lot
Mm-hmm.
was 50.
You used to style 50, bro?
I didn't style him, but I was assisting the stylist that was.
Okay.
And I was her top assistant at the time.
Got you.
So I'm with him all the time.
Right.
I'm in the car.
And what years is this? 2018?
This is
2017, 2016?
Earlier than that. 15.
2015. Okay, because I'm trying to date back like 50 style back then, like
16.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put
this is
how he was
16
looking.
shooting. This is 50 going on to like he's still doing tours, but he's going on to Ellen DeGeneres show. He's just starting to make sure that image of mogul is what it is today. He's really building that. So
right.
He's investing in he's divesting from music at this point in time and starting to invest in film. So everything that he's doing at the time is very PR dedicated. It's very dedicated to him building that rapport with Martha Stewart, him building that rapport with
suits and ties.
Yeah, and he had always had that, energy, and people, white people love 50. He's always had that. But at the same token, I think he was super intentional about building at that time. So you could really see this nigga like climbing, and I don't think anybody else saw his vision. I didn't see it getting this big. You see him doing like these shows, and it's like his dope. Like, but I saw it as like a one-off partnership with stars. I didn't really see him fully molding this whole
building on top of that.
Yeah,
right.
So
building something great.
And over the course of time, being next to him, you start to see that, and you're like, oh, it makes total sense how this nigga's successful. Like,
what stands out?
The way he carried himself. I think when I say the way he carried himself, I think it was very much like the ability to recognize everything that was happening in the room. And that was the one constant that I noticed of anybody that I found to be that I was around that I genuinely thought was stand up and successful. Even ones that I didn't think were stand up, but they were successful, they were very aware of everything that was happening in the room. And I think that level of intention and control is what
Mm-hmm.
generates greatness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And allows you to accomplish things. Because if you don't know what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
you can't pick up the detail that you need to say the thing you
Mm-hmm.
need to say at the time that you need to say it to get the money you need.
You don't pick up all the nuances that needs to be said or done, right?
You can't see it, right?
Right.
And so like that was the thing that I always peeped, that these niggas were really watching what was going on around them. And they were very intentional about who they chose to let around them or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like 50 would do like little shit and fuck with me and be like, you know, and I'm not saying like that was my man's or anything like that, but like it would just, you're around somebody, they're gonna recognize you the second, third, fourth time, fifth time that you're around them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I don't like pretty light skinned niggas around me. Like, and you just like, and like for me, my thing was always to, the reason I say it is not like to humble brag or anything or like drop it. It's more or name drop. It's just more so like I just always reminded myself to be myself. So even with somebody 50, it was like, yeah, well, guess who's picking your fit out today, my boy?
Mm-hmm.
And that was always my response.
Right.
So niggas is gonna garner respect in any place like that. I garner respect in Harlem like that. I garner respect in Maryland like that. I garner respect in DC like that. I garner respect in college like that. I garner respect like that everywhere. So I ain't gonna start treating 50 Cent different because he's 50 Cent.
Right.
You feel me? Like I'm gonna be the same me everywhere. And for me, I found that shit won because it's the truth. Like, man, back down from now, dude. I don't want to fight you, but at the same time, like I ain't about to back down from you neither, because I'm just in no way, shape, or form. If you wanna joke on me, I'm gonna joke on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't gonna go too hard, but at the same token, like. That was just my whole steez, and I think that is what made people relate and like fuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
People like genuineness and realness, bro.
For sure.
Yeah, they want authenticity, you know, and people just to be real, you know, and people feel that, you know what I'm saying? I think after we talked on the phone, I told you that's like the biggest feeling that people have is authenticity. I can't even say the word authenticity. Wait, well, how you say it?
Authenticity.
Authenticity. See what I'm saying, bro? Being from New Orleans,
we get into New Orleans shit.
New Orleans, bro. We'll say words like that. You feel me? But yeah, anyway, but yeah, so. Yeah, I think people, you know, at 50, I feel like he probably big on that, you know, just people just being normal people around him. I think any person that's been a celebrity for a long period of time, that's what they probably going to want to gravitate to, because they are so they may feel like they're so far from reality. It just, you know, people want to like pinch themselves and just be normal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They want to feel alive.
I think he kept it. My thing about him is I think he kept it feeling normal.
Yeah.
He kept the shit feeling like it was like I won't say a drug operation in a bad way, but like you was just walking and be with your niggas was also doing business in there. You ever been in a spot where like when the police go in it, they're like, that was a drug house. But to you, that was just somebody's crib.
Right.
That was what it was. It was a business, but like you had 50's office, but these niggas was like I don't know. It was just like niggas was just getting things done. I don't know that it was like the full operation at the time, you know? So I think it made it feel very homey. It made it feel like, you know, niggas was working, niggas was doing what they needed to do. But at the same time, the environment was very much so just like chill, you know what I'm saying? So I think it made you feel cool too. It made you feel like you could be chill with everybody too. As long as you was handling your business, you would be solid. And for me, that was the reality. Handle your business, don't talk too much, but don't not talk either. You know what I'm saying? Be normal.
So you feel like what's the gentleman name from Power that you started the
Omar Howard.
Omar Howard. So you feel like because of the 50 Cent relationship, do you feel like that had anything to do with that being like your first?
It did, but it did differently, right? It didn't directly. So the stylist that I was working for ends up getting a shoot with Omari. She's like, I can't style him because Fifth is the driver. It don't make sense for you to be messing with 50's talent. So she's like, can you style the shoot for me? Like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Love that. End up styling the shoot, killing it. When I killed it, he's like, I want to fuck with you as my stylist. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you know, the stylist I was working for was actually mad about it. Why to this day, I don't know. I really don't know. But she was like really mad about it. And I'm like,
let's get a little bit into that, and then we can finish the story. But is styling like, is it kind of, is that typically like a situation where people may feel like you may take their person or take their client,
Yeah,
and it is kind of territorial, you know what I'm saying? Is it like that?
it's an
Or
unspoken thing like that for
unspoken,
sure.
like, right?
Like people get very, and I get it though.
It's
You know,
business. It's your
it's
how
business.
you
It's
feed
your
your
money.
family, right?
Yeah, and nobody is signed to you. Niggas could leave tomorrow.
Unless you do have a contract.
Yeah, but most people don't want to enter into that.
Mm,
Most clients don't
mm,
want to enter into an agreement with a stylist that they exclusively work with you.
mm,
Yeah, I think this same athlete don't want to get married. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying?
mhm.
Like, so like, if why he gonna enter into a contract with you?
Right.
You gotta really be worth it,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
So I think when you're trying to establish yourself, you're not looking at it like that.
mhm.
You're looking at it like, yo, I'm doing I'm taking the jobs that I can get.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
And when everybody is doing that, everybody feels like their next meal is up for the taking.
mhm,
Because it is.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Bro, I done lost clients and shit deals to people that I know
mhm,
all the time. It's not like niggas call me and was like, hey, I'm talking to so and so.
mhm,
I'm gonna start working with him now. He's like, I just seen it on Instagram. I was just like,
mhm,
oh shit, all right, cool. Like, you know, like you can get mad about it, but why?
mhm. And it'll probably be from situations where you probably introduced them to them as well,
It
right?
ain't all we know each other. You know that I've been working with this person for years.
Right, right.
But listen, I can't say that I'm gonna call the next person
Mhm,
if that same person called me. If the
mhm,
client that I know has been working with so and so for years
mhm,
called me,
mhm,
am I gonna call that person and be like, hey, your client called me? Probably not.
mhm, mhm,
Now, me individually, if
mhm,
I know that we all know each other, would I ask and be like, yo, you know, do you still work with so and so?
mhm,
Me, I would do that. But not
mhm.
everybody's gonna do that. A lot of people don't
Right.
have, you know, a lot of people is gonna take the check.
Mhm,
You know
mhm.
what I mean? They ain't
But the
asking no
question
questions.
is, why would you feel the need to ask? So, you personally.
Visually, just because I want to know if it's gonna be sticky.
Mm,
I kind of viewed it, and maybe that was too personal, right? Like, but
mm,
I kind of viewed it almost like relationships. Like, yo, like, do you still deal with this? What is the circumstance? So I know what I'm walking
mhm,
into as
mhm,
well. Is it gonna be one day you're like, yeah, you're my stylist, and then the
mhm,
next day you're bringing so and so on set,
mhm, mhm,
and now I gotta listen to their opinion while I'm trying to give my opinion?
mhm,
I want to know.
mhm,
So I want to know what it is, you know. Oh, because then inevitably there will be something where it's like, yeah, you're my stylist, but this person also shops for me. What does that
mhm,
mean?
mhm,
Because now when that person's piece is in this shoot, they're gonna want credit.
mhm,
So now we got an issue, and I don't. I just want to know what I'm dealing with.
mhm,
So I'll definitely ask people like, yo, what's the circumstance, so that I know,
mhm,
um, so I can deal with it. Now, if you pay me to where a number that I don't need to ask no questions about, then I don't
mm.
ask no questions.
Where it depends on what
That
they
ain't my
paying.
business.
Check with the
Yeah,
business,
like, you
like,
know what I'm saying? You look,
oh, it don't even matter.
yeah, you
You
pay.
say yes or no. You
And you want to have 15 people for that check. If you want to have 30 people in here giving opinions, I will shut up. I will shut up. I
mhm,
will not say a word because I
mhm,
don't care at that point. I don't care.
right.
I done got paid.
Mm,
But if I'm still trying to get my money, I'm still trying to get my name out there, and I got to worry about somebody else's opinion fucking up this look that I think is that I know is about to hit.
mhm,
Nah, can't do that. Can't
mm,
have that. Can't have that. You fucking with my vision.
mhm, mhm. I feel like, just my experience in fashion and a little bit of styling, and which your experiences, I feel like styling, it doesn't really have like a bona fide structure and law in place. Like it's just like whatever.
Wow.
It's like water, whatever it is. It ain't really. Do you feel like it's needed, or it's like it's good where it's at?
No, it's needed
Like more structure.
for sure. But I think the time for it is done,
Mm,
in my opinion. I think that we missed out on doing that, and
mm-hmm,
it's actually it's a bigger discussion, but like
mm-hmm,
it's a failure of the old guard, in my
mm-hmm,
opinion, to
mm-hmm,
not really have established it. It's a failure on hip hop.
mm-hmm,
It's a stain, in my opinion.
mm-hmm,
Um, and we just kind of let people get erased, and then we let them individually get celebrated instead of being like, wait a minute, we erased an entire era of people that were making dope shit. And instead of just highlighting those individuals and letting those individuals get checks, which is great, like, but we should create a structure so that we don't have this happen again. Almost like NBA stars in the 70s get forgotten to a large degree, right? But at the end of the day, the 80s made up for the shit so much that now the 70s get respect too. Because they made sure that, you know what, we are not going to have this happen again. We're going to make sure that these guys get X, Y, and Z. And in my opinion, I don't think that the older stylists did that. They gave us opportunity, individual opportunities, you know, appreciate it, but I don't think anybody created like an actual business structure. And the businesses that benefited from the stylists didn't do it either. Like Rockefeller not doing that, crazy to me. Not creating not creating stylist roles at you know, at record labels, at agencies, at all of these places is one of the biggest misses to me, and it's messed up because it's like it was the one industry that we dominated, and the white people was able to do it. You know what I'm saying? They're getting represented by the agents, and even though they don't have the same structure, they operate like a union,
right?
A little differently, right? Whereas we operate as fucking these true freelancers. You know what I'm saying? We might both do the same job, and I got paid $500. You got paid $50,000, and I'm just trying to learn, like, and then it's we all niggas. So the nigga that's making 50 grand a job ain't trying to teach no nigga that makes $500 a job, no matter how good that nigga is,
right?
Especially if he's good, because if you're good, you might do my job that I'm getting 50 for 15, and for you that's a fucking huge come up, but for me that's a huge undercut. So it's like when that is the dichotomy of the business, how do you ever regulate it?
Yeah, that's what I think is. It'll just be. I think it's been groups, because I even get them to my email where they try to build like some type of infrastructure around styling and all that. But I think it's just you can't regulate it. It's just not, especially in our community, in the hip hop community. It's just it'll be very, very difficult. You know what I'm saying?
Like, because everybody's worth is different too, right? Like not everybody's doing the same work, and not everybody can recreate for the next client. Some people they work good with their client and they're valuable to that person. And then some people are like, no, you're a good stylist. Those are very different, in my opinion, very different things. Being a good stylist is can you do this for anyone at any time, all the time? That's being a good stylist. Like, you don't need the highest budget. You don't need the hottest client. You don't need the certain body type. You get busy, like you know what's happening, what this person is doing, and who they want to be, and how they want to project themselves, and you can create that. Whether athlete or whatever the case may be, you know.
Okay, we gonna go off to the left a little bit
for sure.
What's your favorite piece of all time? It could be whatever.
Favorite piece of
you can
clothing?
say, okay, how about this? You can say your favorite piece or your favorite collection. I know that's putting you on the spot a little bit, but
the Rathman Wyatt collection is probably my favorite collection.
Okay.
I just think that the typography and then just being able to disrupt, I think, bringing this like streetwear element, I think to high end was cool, was just a dope ass moment. And I think it set the stage for so much else. And the intention, you know, with that, I think was dope. In terms of my favorite piece, damn.
And to touch on the Riot collection too, though, I know one of the highest selling like pieces to sell on like Grail was like one of the jackets.
One of the jackets, and then the highest selling T-shirt joint is the camo jacket, and then the highest selling T-shirt is the Columbia, the Columbia shirt that's also in that collection too.
Okay.
But yeah, the jacket that Ye wore, that shit is.
I think it's so like 50 racks.
Crazy. So I think to me, that collection is just like, obviously even shit like this is just super connected, I think, to that collection and to that.
You feel like that aesthetic was like the first time that type of the aesthetic came together, right?
That the way you said it's perfect, that it came together. Because I think that there were other places and spaces to where other designers that were doing similar things. But I think the fact that it was also just the the typography, the way that the graphics,
Mhm.
the layered graphics over top of cut and sew garments. People weren't really doing that. They were doing it on t-shirts. They weren't doing it on actual graphics. I think being able to take like John Galliano shit from Dior and like the John Galliano Dior newspaper shirt, and then taking that, clipping that, putting that into t-shirt format was super dope for me. So I think that for me, that was super inspirational into especially where we are today and like the Virgil type theory or people being able to take things, elemental design, take things from other places and then create something new from that, right? And to me, I think that that's where we are inventing today. Niggas can't make no new tire. The shit is a circle, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like you could put new types of materials, put new rims on it.
Are you familiar with Greg Ross?
No.
So he's one of Ye's designers. So that whole aesthetic. So when I first seen Ye pieces,
Actually, do
you know Greg? You know Greg?
Yeah.
Okay. When I first seen the collections, Ye collection, I just thought that it was original.
Yeah.
I didn't think it had the inspiration from Raf, you know.
Yeah.
But it's directly from when I seen it, directly from that. I'm like, wow,
you can see the silhouettes. And the crazy thing is if you really even go back, even I would say even before that, and honestly how I know Greg Ross is from Bieber. Not I didn't even
Justin Bieber?
Yeah, I didn't know him from I know him from doing the Bieber Skylark shit, which has the high shoulder pads and all that I thought was super dope. The recent shit. But I forgot that he was doing shit for Ye too. But if you go back even with Ye, like seasons 1, 2, fucking 3, you go back to Fear of God, realistically, that shit is all Raf Simons, Rick Owens, silhouette driven.
Yeah.
The nigga was literally taking Rick silhouettes and Raf silhouettes and
I think he did the only thing he did slightly different. He did like a little bit more minimalistic looks. You know what I'm saying?
Minimalistic looks, minimalistic colors, which is definitely very Rick. But I think that it's the tailoring is mixing that with luxury tailoring is what melded his whole aesthetic and world together. And for me, I think stylistically, I always fuck with that. I don't wear Fear of God, but not because I don't like the idea of it.
Do you put that on any of your clients, or have you?
I have, yeah. I've put it on my clients before. I think there's people that no, I don't think people ask for it. But I think people wear it well. I think there's certain people that wear it well. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, I think it has a space. You know, it's like more, you know, professional in certain ways, like the trench coats. Obviously, his ranges from the more street style.
Right.
But I think his lane is, you know, the big trench coats. And just I don't know, you look a little bit more put together, well put together.
Which I like being able to, some of that I fuck with just off the strength of like, listen, niggas is dads. You know what I mean? Like, so, but now I'm the type that I'll put a long trench over this. You know what I mean? But I'm still wearing this. And I think that is like stylistically, he would put camel sweatsuit with a camel jacket. You know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of times, for me, I think I could identify with that stylistically. I fuck with it.
Yeah. Okay, so Ralph, what is it? The Riot collection?
The Riot collection, yeah.
That's your favorite collection?
I think that's 03.
03. Yep, 03 or 103, I think, somewhere up in there. So your favorite piece?
My favorite piece.
Is something you made? Because usually that's where it goes. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie.
And then we gonna get into the fit here. Let me see what you
appreciate you, brother.
Yes,
my favorite piece. All right, so I did this fire ass boiler suit that I really, really, really fuck with.
Okay.
It was all lambskin leather. It zips together. That can be worn as like a fire suit. I made it real inspired by the civil rights movement. Just given everybody was wearing a lot of canvas, a lot of denim, a lot of leather. In that sort of timeline, and the workwear and utilitarian style was the style that they would utilize to relate to people, because everybody was working in factories and things like that at the time. So stylistically, that's how they would relate to people. And Martin was very intentional about it. Obviously, the Panthers were very intentional about it, and that's one of the more underrated sides of the civil rights movement campaign, the uprising of Black culture. I think at that time, fashion is a part of it, but the intentionality behind fashion being a part of it is often not discussed, right? So that was the inspo behind the collection, and I use a lot of utilitarian shit, and kind of like mixing those silhouettes and those proportions with one another. So yeah,
When did you create that?
I created that in 2020, and yeah, 2020.
Did you release it?
No, I kept it all samples. I put it on some dope people, but I kept it all samples.
So you got some looks on it.
Yeah. So I got a vault of shit that I've done, right? But yeah, I think that next stage is getting into the space of like actually putting that out to the people beyond just putting it on my clients for one-off experiences, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So your pieces is your favorite pieces of
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think if I had to choose like another piece that was not my own piece, that was my
that's the stands out. You was like, dang, bro, that was like that's crazy.
It's probably gonna go back to Raph, but it's the Phoenix coat. I think it's 2006. It's like fucking orange, red. It's got these like it's mohair, long with a gray mosaic coat. That I think is super fire. That shit is like, and I had never even seen that piece in person until this weekend. So
really,
yeah. That the joint I was telling you
about,
the design space. Nah, I didn't see nobody wearing it. They had it on display.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, that shit is got.
Where they had it on display?
At the design open space, AI design space. So yeah, man, that shit was dope.
Right.
So,
you was like, wow, this is an experience.
Hell yeah. And just being able to see, like, you know, I'd never seen the piece.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, the intricacy of it is actually fire. Like, damn, I want this shit. I don't have $9,000 for it, but I wanted it.
Right. I'm trying to think, how much would that cost? How much? I mean, obviously they didn't have it on display to sell. Or...
Oh no, they had it to sell. I just don't know. I didn't even look up.
You didn't look it up.
I wasn't about to buy it. I knew it wasn't for me.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I was looking at it. I didn't put it on, but I grabbed it though.
Okay.
Yeah. But that piece is crazy though. Just the color, like that would be one that if I had unlimited funds, I'm going to acquire that for sure.
So you're gonna get it for you, not the style.
Nah, nobody else go wear that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that now. With a big wide leg cream pant. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
You already was thinking. It was like, all right, I already know what I'm gonna do with this.
It's like this. I know exactly how I want to do it. So that's how I see pieces though, bro.
Yeah.
If I see a piece that I think is really like that, like, I really want to, I know what I'm gonna do with it. So
right.
Yeah.
Right before we get to your fit, one last question. So, have you ever seen somebody outfit that was just so crazy? It was like, wow, bro, like this person really put that together. I know it's several, vibes, but anything that really like stood out to you in your life, where you like, man, like that was like the coolest, smooth, you know what I'm saying, fit I ever seen, a vibe or energy or. I know you've seen so many fit, but it got to be one. You could just say name one.
Just off picture or in person.
I think in person hit different.
In person does hit.
You know what I'm saying? When you see the whole vibe, you feel me? In person, when you was like maybe at a show or you was at a park, whatever. You know what I mean? You like, damn, look at bro.
Mostly at shows. I'm not gonna lie. At shows, I think there's fits that I'm like. So to me, I think Amiri always had the fashion show always had a piece that a look that I was like, nigga, like
in person.
I need that. That shit is fire. So like, one of the ones is can't remember the artist that he did it with, but they got the big skull heads on it. I actually have one of their jackets. I think that shit is so good, bro. It's like mostly brown. Yeah, it's Amiri. It's mostly brown, and they got like checker flags, but it's all like it's pretty dope. So to me, the mixed media on that, and then it was very suit driven too. So the tailoring of the jacket, but then you got this like big streetwear element, and then it's long. So that's probably some of the looks that I thought were the hardest. Picture wise though, shit, Teddy Pendergrass always has some ill shit.
Oh yeah,
hell yeah, like I thought that shit was ill.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I think Pac has some fire.
For sure.
Has some super fire. Somebody I think is super underrated that doesn't really get style discussion is DMX.
Okay.
X and Belly, bro. Like,
Yeah.
remember the glasses, the shirts that he was wearing. So to me, that was always super fire.
Yeah, that Rough Rider, them Rough Rider pieces is cool in my opinion. That R, bro, like
you was fucking with that.
Oh yeah, for sure,
that
bro.
R is you.
I always be like looking at it like that. That's whoever designed that, crazy, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah, love
man.
it. So, do you feel like Amiri? Do you see that? Do you see people actually wearing that? Because I don't feel like I see people out really wearing.
See, I see a lot of celebrities wearing it.
Celebrities? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's very celebrity driven. But I don't see the average person. But I see a lot. I see the average person wearing Amiri.
Okay.
That's not wearing his runway shit.
Okay.
I wear it though. I personally like it. I think those like I own 4 suits, 2 jackets that I purchased. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get them for free. I purchased them just like.
You feel like he get the recognition he deserves, Amiri?
I think he's getting the money he deserves.
He's getting the money.
You know, like I think everybody knows his brand. He's getting money. The shit's still growing. What more recognition do you need? You know what I'm saying? To me, and could he be acquired by one of the big brands? Sure, one of the big, you know, but like to me, I think as a genuine upstart brand, how much bigger can you be than Amiri unless you're trying to be Ralph Lauren? You know what I'm saying? Like a new age, the nigga's been around what? Not saying he's an overnight person, but I'm saying like, what is it? Let's call it 10 years even.
Yeah.
To be that big in 10 years, like as a brand, like you damn near a house. I think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like doing the big one. You're doing everything that can be done. In my view.
Yeah, shout out to Mary, man.
Yeah, for sure.
He doing it.
Sure. He doing like nigga went from denim to you got a house.
Right.
You damn near got the newest American house.
Facts, man.
That's just hard.
Facts.
Like you gotta salute that in my view. You know, because there's a lot of people that was like they were trying to run that trajectory. Niggas didn't run that, you know. So like I kind of, for me, I fuck with it, and I think that it's cool. You know, I don't necessarily want to even see him go design for somebody else. It's just like we got the new American Salomon. Like that's ill.
So what do you think about Fear of God then? And do you feel like that he's a house? You know, Jerry? No. Not yet.
No, I don't think it'll ever be a house.
You don't think?
I don't think Jerry's that. And that's what I mean. I think Amiri at the end of the day scaled it differently. I think that Jerry made a lot of money differently though. And I think Jerry is somebody that is super important for the culture. So what he is, his house is essentials. It's not Fear of God. Fear of God, sure, made money and does well, amazing. If that was all he had though, I don't think he would be an iconic figure. He's an iconic figure because everybody has that sweatsuit. Everybody has that sweatsuit. You know how much bread that is? Shit is $120 per unit. That costs $5.
Yeah.
And everybody has it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not for the fear of God. Right. It's for the essentials.
It's for essentials. Yeah. I definitely see the business plan there where he has that still going, so it could still get
do whatever you
essentials.
Want. Yeah, the nigga can do. He can do whatever he likes in Fear of God. You could tell he does whatever the fuck he wants to do with Fear of God.
Right.
Like you're not gonna rush me. I'm not gonna put out a different jacket. I like this jacket and I want to perfect it over 8 seasons. Do I agree with that? No, I think that's just whack. But at the end of the day, like, nah, keep it being. I think that's just whack. Like that would bore me.
Right.
Like I don't want to see the same jacket 8 seasons in a row with small tweaks. Is it better? Sure, but you could have figured that out with redrawing that shit 8 times in the studio, nigga. Like, you didn't need to reproduce this 8 times. That's my view.
Yeah.
I love and respect the fact that the nigga does whatever he wants to do with that brand now, because where he makes his money is with the other one.
Right.
So I did the smart one already. I did the smart idea where everybody trying to get money. Now I do what the fuck I want to do. So if my Adidas shit doesn't pop, so what? That shit don't hurt nothing about my pockets. Them niggas paid me. I did what I wanted to do. I didn't like it, so fuck it. It is what it is. I can't hate on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and when we really think about it, like, if you had a 10-year stretch where you were that guy, you're still always gonna create, and you in that 10-year stretch you made big bags.
Yeah.
You got a 30-year career in fashion.
Yeah. I know he just bought like 2 years ago, he bought like an $8 million house.
Come on.
I remember that. I was like, oh, I'm
Come on.
staying in this fashion world. Yeah.
Amazing. This shit looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, what? Come on, man. You could never make me feel no way about perfecting my jacket for the 88th time.
Right.
You know, like, so the shit works.
Right.
It's just not my flavor, but I respect it though.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Shout out to Jerry, man.
Shout out to Jerry.
Shout out to Jerry.
Teach me how to make some.
All right, brother. You looking fly, man. Tell us what you got on, man. What's up? What's poppin'?
So
Fire, bro.
on this one here, this Valley Lives, they made the crystals for me.
Okay.
With the Rick boots, with the Rick and the Doc Martin collab, a little bit of fur, you feel
Okay.
me? But yeah, bro, this shit is I love the rhinestone on it all over the field.
Mhm.
Just super dope in that way. This is probably like one of the newer joints that they sent out, so I'm fucking with that.
So Valley Lives.
Yeah,
Valley Lives.
yep,
Fire,
yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I love the
Thank you, bro.
you said they put the crystals on for you?
Yeah.
So what they normally sell doesn't have the crystals?
No, now they are.
Now they are.
Yeah, but
Okay.
but at first it was just the cargo pants.
Okay.
And then they added the crystal joints on there, and that's their newest drop. That they got them on flannels. Shit is fire. It's dope. I fuck with them.
Right. And the shoes again? What's the shoes?
The shoes is Rick Owens, Rick Owens and Doc Martin collab.
Okay.
Yeah.
What year is that from?
This is, I want to say 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, 2022.
Fire.
Yeah. So
how you feel wearing it?
like that nigga, bro. Like, you know, because this is the thing, like this, I think you're mixing things that were very hard with things that were feminine before. Crystals was always a little all over, at least was always seeming a little feminine, unless you're talking about it on a belt in 2007 or 2008, like a rock star or some shit.
Yeah.
Right. So, but you're mixing that with camo, which is always super masculine. Same thing with pearls. You're mixing the pearls with super harsh metals. You feel me? Like, so you're mixing this thing that was always seen as feminine with something that's super masculine, super hard. And to me, the juxtaposition of that is what always makes the juxtaposition period of anything is always what makes something flop. When you take something that used to go with this and you put it with this, you're like, oh man, I never, because that's what makes you think. You're like, damn, nigga, I never thought about wearing a fisherman's jacket with a, you know what I'm saying, with a pair of these pants, with some football pants, and you're like, damn, that shit look hard. Like, I fuck with that. And it looks hard because you melded two worlds together that don't normally go together. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I think that's what makes something dope.
And what about the hat?
Oh, the hat I made myself. Yeah. Gotta rep my boys. You know what I'm saying? Little Eagles, you dig? So put the floor on it. Obviously connected for you.
Yes, sir.
But that was where they wanted that this year.
Yes, sir.
And then, you know, on the back I just put a little laurels or whatever. Always fuck with it.
So you feel like you customize a lot of your pieces, like you kind of make it your own?
For sure. Love to customize because I think that's how I got into styling. That's how I got into fashion. I couldn't buy the shit. I couldn't buy the actual piece. I was making what I thought was ill. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't make it from scratch because I didn't even know where to go do that at. I had no concept of how does one make a garment. I don't know. So I would just take shit that presently existed and be like, yo, I want to like mix it like this. So I would get cool with tailors. You know what I'm saying? And I want it to look like this. You know what I mean? I want it to fit on me like this. And that was really how I started to hone in on what I wanted things to look like. So I'll get anything tailored, bro. I'll get a tank top tailored because I want it to look like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how I want it to sit. This is how I want it to lay with, you know what I'm saying? My particular, I want to look like 50. So for me, what I'm gonna do, go buy an extra small fucking tank? Nah, that shit not busting out. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just make sure it fits how it needs to, you know? So yeah, man, that was, our customization is definitely, and I think that we all get into fashion almost like from the sneaker world.
For sure.
Customization is huge in the sneaker world, so it was a natural thing for me to do with clothes too.
So, for example, like your hat, right?
Yeah.
Have anybody asked you about it? Like, where's the hat from?
Yeah.
So when people ask you about it, do you feel like they're gonna like make it more, or you kind of like want to keep that for yourself? Because in the fashion world, we want to be unique. We don't want everybody with everything we got. So how do you feel on that too?
About actual pieces, I'd be wanting to keep it to myself.
Keep it to yourself. Right.
But I also think about it. I'm like, damn, if that many people want it, there's money involved with the shit. So maybe I should do that. But in terms of like the actual thing I think is fly, I be wanting to keep it for myself. But I also know we live in a world where niggas are gonna copy it anyway.
That's
the
fact.
first time you put it online,
Right.
if you ain't ready to sell it,
right,
somebody gonna go get somebody that is gonna go do it. So that's part of the. I think that's part of the reason that you'll end up, or I can end up sitting on things too, because it's like if I go pump this shit and I'm not ready to really do what I need to do with it, and now, man, you know, knock that shit off and made it 38 times, 58 different ways. You cook. You know what I'm saying? Like you might as well throw that piece away. So sometimes I sit on things a lot for that reason too. You know, I'll wear it myself, but I'm not even gonna pump it like that online just because I ain't ready to.
Right. I be feeling the same way, bro. I totally understand where you coming from, dog. Like, because so as soon as you put it online, boom. Like, especially if you know you got eyes on you. Like you said a brand that I felt definitely like took some of my stuff. I ain't gonna talk too much about it, but that definitely happens, bro.
It happens, bro.
It happens, bro. And it's just part of it. It's part of yeah, that's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like any creative space, think about music or whatever, gets me sampling, anything. People see something and they just kind of make it their own or build on top of it or make it better or however they see it fit. That's what I feel like fashion is all about.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And listen, at a certain point in time, you could pervert the wheel. You feel me? Because it's like you don't know where something originated, and then now somebody else then took it and remixed it, and then got remixed. You then re-rock the shit.
Bro, you see that all the time.
You know what I'm saying? 38 different times. So now that shit ain't even the same drug no more. You know what I mean? Like it's just not. So
facts, bro.
I feel that way about a lot of shit though. But that's why I think when you customize your own shit, niggas really can't really bite that out too much.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you can't even get the original piece like this. So like to remake this, you're gonna have to really take this to China. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take you some months. You gotta really like my shit to come knock this now at this point. So that's kind of what I want to do, and from a detail-oriented standpoint, be more detailed in my pieces and my storytelling too, because then you could really, man, you can't knock this whole story, bro. You're gonna have to. You can knock the piece, you can't knock the story. You can knock the story, you can't knock the piece. You feel me? So like when you can thread the needle like that and tie the loop, I think that's really my next elevation. You know what I mean? Shit, you can't. There's just certain things that the whole thing went with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, the streets was watching just went with fucking Rockefeller music at a certain era. You know, like that was just what it was. So if you was able to, man, Cam's movies came out at the same time as the music. You know what I'm saying? You can't unsee the shit.
Can't unsee it, bro.
So it's what it is, and like the texture that goes along with it goes with both. You feel me? So when you get tie the loop like that, then people can see your whole vision, your whole perspective, and your whole thing, your whole outlook on the world. That's really what I think fashion is. It frames your outlook on the world.
For sure.
Like, you know, to where when it's done properly, other people can converse with you non-verbally. People can say, oh, okay, man, that's a serious brother right there. How do people say that when they ain't never talked to that nigga? They don't know. They just looking at him. Man, it's a serious brother right there. Why? Because it's the intentionality behind the way that the nigga shined his shoes, the way that he wore his pants to sit directly one cuff. You understand? Like whatever that was in that era that made them associate that with that person, it's the same sort of thing. You know, so I still see it like that. I still think that it's nonverbal communication, and niggas is gonna pick up what you're putting down. You're gonna pick up that I'm a little bit ostentatious. You just are, because I am. Like, you know, it just is. So I think that's what it's about.
But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that. Like, what do you feel like, you know, fashion is going? You feel like it's going, you know, maximum or like minimalism for the most part, like, or even where you're at in it. I could see where you at a little bit in it, but
there's a almost a middle ground.
Yeah.
Right. Because I do both.
Yeah.
But I will maximize a minimalist look. Right. I think that I will wear a very minimal look, but I will maximize in my accessories, for example. Right. Or I don't do a lot of mixing. I will wear a set. that I think is good. Now I will pair things differently, but I'm not going to completely mix what I believe to be a set, right? Like, so I think those are still minimalist elements to it, right? Color blocking or things like that. Like, so to me, I think that the elements that I take from it are very much so like that, but there's still gonna be ways that you maximize your outlook and how people see your vibe. You know what I'm saying? I think you always have to do that because you got to stand out. So like, even in a minimalist look, you still want to maximize that shit. That's why niggas be wearing 88 different accessories on top of it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what make it really fly. You could wear an all black look, but you got layers and levels and intrigue and invitation into your whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Not just the one portion. So I think that's what makes it, you know, you can still be maximum within being minimalist. You know, you have minimal colors on, but realistically, you still have maximum style in terms of the invitation of what you want it to look like. It's still going to be maximum intrigue.
Right. I think it's a perfect explanation you just explained. Yeah, it's absolutely perfect. I think, you know, if you're from New York, though, it's like you automatically to stand out, you got to be maximum, bro. You ain't no minimalism over there. Obviously, like, to put it together and it flow right, it's some minimalistic elements to it.
For sure.
But for the most part, you from Harlem, you stand out, baby. Like,
I'm trying to stand out. That's what I'm in here with the intention to do that.
Right.
You knew I was gonna do that.
That's the culture.
Yeah, like, don't invite me to the party if you don't want me to stand out.
Right.
Dead ass. Like, you cannot tell me you want me to come to your party and then be mad that I dressed better than you at your party because I dressed better than you yesterday.
Do you feel like you've been through that? You have like people ain't gonna invite you no more. Whatever. Like, man, this dude get all the attention here.
Hey, fuck that.
Yeah.
You gotta think about it like this.
Right.
My brother, if I dressed better than you yesterday, if I dressed better than you yesterday, help me to understand how today you would expect me to not dress better than you.
Right.
It's just normal. Like, you gotta expect that when you invite me to the party, bro.
But I think if once it's like they see they experiencing it around other people now, then it hit different. It ain't just me and you. Now we at the party, and you know the girls or the attention.
But I'm your man though, so now I could divert all that attention to you because I ain't gonna lie, I ain't really trying to entertain all these wonderful human beings that we meet. And
why not? I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think you have to pull back anything. Like if that's what it is what it is, bro. Like. I know I have experience with that. Like you the flies and you the homie. I even experienced if you a short dude and then you tall and then the girl's like they ain't really around
no way, man. You can't feel no way about that, bro. You gotta. My thing is you gotta embrace what your people are. If he bring a different flavor than me, that to me that's popping because he could bring different energy. He can handle something that I'm not gonna handle. So now instead of all the people I attract. Now we got 18 different people in here, and now I'm attracting new people that I didn't even know I was attracted to or was attracted to me. And I don't even mean that just like, you know, women and men, just like it could even be like, you know, friendships, relationships. Now, if I done brought you around, we different cats, but still, you still my man. You're gonna bring in a whole different demographic and energy than I have, right? So I might have the streets. But you got the book smart niggas, and this person got the girls, and this person got the basketball team, and this person got the football team. Shit, by the end of that, I'm friends with all these people. So if I'm sitting up here worried about the fact that he the tall one, or he the brolic one, he the brolic one, that's why he got the football team. The tall one, that's why he got the basketball team. You feel me? So like, I think when people stifle their own. But see, capability when
I feel like if they don't feel like they bring in anything to the table of that stature, right? Then they start probably getting a little bit like, you know, insecure.
Oh yeah, like you just taking my energy.
Yeah, you just take like they get a little insecure because you have energy, but I really have nothing to offer, right? So you experience that.
For sure.
I'm sure you have. But also on the flip side, you experience somebody who that like you being who you are, and then this person just like. And you've experienced them ain't nothing like they style is pretty like you probably like nah I ain't bringing brother around here. This ain't the spot for you brother because you know what I'm saying like
I tell people like, yo, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I got some shit for you.
Yeah.
If you my people, I know you don't get fly, and
Right.
we going somewhere that need to get fly. I'm gonna be like, I got something for
You
you, bro.
unique though. 'Cause you
Yeah,
Stylist
like
already, so
put
you
you
already
on,
got
'cause
the. You know what I mean?
you're not working with me like in
Mm.
those. No, sir. Like,
So
I
so
can't.
you'll be more like verbal and intentional about it. You know how to do it.
Yeah,
Mm.
listen. I will literally tell my friends for sure. Like,
Mm.
I got my real friends that they don't really
Mm.
do that, and like,
Mm.
I'm like, bro, this is what we doing tonight. You
Mm.
cannot show up in that.
Mm.
Like, I ain't even trying to be mean. I'm just dead ass serious. Like,
Right.
then, first of all, we need to redo your closet. Period. Like, that's not it. We're gonna
Right.
do this
Right.
because at the end of the day, bro, you're gonna really get the vibe. And then at the end, they really be feeling good too.
Mm.
And now I done hooked my man up where he's into his own bag, and
Mm.
next thing you know, he's sending me pieces like, "Yo, bro, I just bought this," and I'm like,
Mm.
so that make me feel good. Like, yeah, I'm gonna make fun of you, I'm gonna cut your ass and tell you your shit is whack,
Mm.
but that's love, nigga.
So that just means anybody that's part of your life, especially that you hanging out with, whatever, they going it's just natural. They style. If it ain't up to par already, it will be.
Yeah.
You feel me?
You with me, you with us.
It's gonna
Like,
be.
and when you with us, we
It's gonna
look
get
a
you right.
certain way. Yeah,
Right. It's
like,
gonna get you
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, you can't pop out with me not even trying to. If you're not trying to look good, then
Yeah.
I can't bring you out. You know what I'm saying? If you like, man, I'm just not gonna cut my hair. Like, all right, well,
Mm.
why are you doing that with me? Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Unless that's your shit, or maybe I'll bring you to a different party. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
it'd be things like that. But I think realistically, like, bro, you always got to be on. You
Mm.
always got to be on,
Mm.
especially in this world, because you got to think somebody you tell somebody, yo, what do you do for a living? I make other people look good, and that's how I get money.
Mm.
All right, why you look terrible? It's the natural question. Why you look bad? So I always got to look good.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I cannot tell somebody, even at the mall or at
Mhm.
the fucking grocery store,
Mhm.
like, I dress people, and they're like, you?
Right. Right.
Like, so,
Right.
at this point, it's a part of just how I get my money. It's a part of the thing.
Do you feel like if you got a new fit, you feel like are you one of those people where you wear that fit like you have like a moment with that fit where you wear it like multiple times for like maybe like a good month or two where that's just kind of like what I mean?
See, I have a
Or
problem with that.
okay.
I will not rewear shit a lot, which is
Mm.
really bad. Like, I gotta redo the fit. I won't rewear the same thing. Like, I gotta make it look different each time.
Mhm.
So I really only buy pieces that I feel like I could do that with.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So if I did this again,
Mhm.
right? Like, I'll probably put a trench over it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? To
Different
where you
shoes.
really just get exactly
Mhm.
different shoes. So you're gonna get just a
But see,
certain spot of it.
here's the thing, like probably those shoes flow best with that fit.
Yeah.
So sometimes you like, damn, I don't want to wear
But you
because
do.
I already know in my mind that's the best look for the
But
fit.
that's why you got to go get
But
some new shoes.
yeah,
That's
you right.
why you be in the stores, you feel me?
You right.
But
You right.
that's how I'll be like, all right, cool. Like, stylistically, what do I like? I know I like high boots. All right, boom. So, like, where am I going to be able to find some joints that I can mess with? Oh, I might have to go get some tactical pair that's $45 that I could go do this type of thing to and make it look like X, Y, and Z. And then now that's your hit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to me, I think that's what creates some level of innovation too, to where you could,
So you got to innovate.
yeah, because I'm not going to spend,
Right.
dollars every time I need to go get something new. No, sometimes that's at Target, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, no bullshit. Like, sometimes that's really where it's at. Like, I'm gonna go get, bro. I love Uniqlo.
Mm-hmm.
Uniqlo has the best sweatsuits,
Mm-hmm.
the best undergarments.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, I wear Uniqlo all the time.
Yeah. Okay. What's some of your favorite brands? So Uniqlo.
Uniqlo
Well,
fire. Uniqlo got it.
Give me five.
Bad Son, I think, is the shit right now.
Bad
Fuck
Son.
with Bad Son. Bad
Okay.
Son is fire.
What kind of clothes they usually
A
do?
lot of streetwear shit.
Okay.
Jackets, crop jackets, real like high impact pants.
Mm-hmm.
That I think is real dope.
Mm-hmm.
Acne Studios is always
Acne for sure.
yeah, they're always pushing shit.
Any new up and coming brands that you like?
Bad Son is up and coming.
Bad Son. Okay.
Yeah, Bad Son I fuck with heavily.
What they based out of?
I ain't gonna lie, I think they're based out of like Utah or some shit.
Utah. Okay.
But I fuck with them a lot though. I think that shit is dope.
I've probably seen them already.
Yeah, they got the
Not
shit
the
though.
name ain't ring.
Shit, who else? Oh, I fuck with this brand called Lemons on Fire.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, I think
They're newer as well.
they're newer as well.
Okay.
I like some of their shit. I think that shit is pretty dope.
What they typically look like?
hoodies, but like they have like layered pieces on them that I think were cool. They did like a bedazzled like hat that was fire. That was I want to say it was like a beanie with like jewels on it. That was pretty dope. I fuck with them a lot. And then
So, question, you can finish your answer,
yeah,
and I got a question. What you got? How many you got? Lulu,
that's 4.
4. You got one more? What
Yeah, I
else?
got one more. Oof. One more that I think is really,
That's fine. It's just like, damn,
really gas right now. Shit.
there's so many brands now.
Yeah, it's a lot of
So
brands
many
now, bro.
fire brands
And a
too,
lot of
bro.
like up and coming shit too. But I would say, I think Elwood is pretty cool.
Elwood.
Elwood is pretty cool. And it's something that's accessible to everybody, price point wise. Um, and they sell them at Nordstrom. That shit is dope.
Okay.
I think that shit's pretty cool. That like the average man could wear for sure. Yeah, Elwood has dope shit.
So, as a stylist, with these new up and coming brands, how would you typically acquire pieces from them, or how your experience in getting pieces from newer brands? What does that look like typically for you?
So showrooms,
Showroom.
the
Okay.
showrooms that's carrying them is always big.
But if you see them online, would you just hit them up directly?
You get them up directly, but sometimes going to the showroom is better though,
Okay.
because the showroom has the piece. They actually have the piece, so the brand is gonna send you to the showroom anyway.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because they're the ones that has the piece. If you actually are trying to get the piece, you know. Now, if you're just trying to create a relationship, not going directly to the person, but if you really want the piece and you're trying to style the piece, then you need to go to the showroom because the showroom is who has the piece. You know what I mean? So they have the look that they would have this full look. You know what I'm saying? And if you wanna put it on your client, you might need that, right? So showrooms is always big, and then obviously hitting people up directly is always going to be a way to make strong relationships. You know?
Do you feel like that transition? I mean, because you basically been a stylist all the Instagram era for the most part. So
Yeah, pretty much.
you've been able to, get directly if you absolutely need to. So you haven't seen a change because you was with you in Instagram. You hadn't seen like before that where you have to, go to the go to the showroom.
You gotta go, and
You know what I'm saying?
you gotta go, and you wouldn't even know about the brand. How do you find out about the
Exactly.
brand? You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't even get in contact with the individual. You had to see the shit somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is definitely different. And the value of showrooms is obviously much higher during that time. I still think that the value of showrooms is high now, though, because a good showroom should be able to curate a similar aesthetic. So somebody that's looking for something that is very similar to you, the person that likes that should be able to find a bunch of shit like that in their showroom. And that's the value of a good showroom. If you like high-end sportswear inspired pieces, be the place for you because you can find a bunch of brands like that. You know what I mean? Like to me, I think that's what makes it a showroom.
Okay.
That would be how I would run a showroom if I was doing it.
So Ye just announced Yeezy season 10.
Yeah.
Do you follow the Yeezy seasons at all? Or
I stopped following after a certain period of time, man.
Yeah.
Like, I love versions of Kanye for sure. Like I think I love Kanye when he transitioned to Ye is for me individually where I feel lost stylistically and musically and message wise.
But it started to be a little confused and sporadic, you could say.
Yeah, it was a manifestation of a character that I know that I can no longer that I personally no longer connect with.
Okay.
Early Kanye, I'm still in that. So I never got to the space where I could fully connect with where he's at right now because I didn't achieve it. I'm still in the my beautiful dark twisted fantasy element of my life. I can relate to that music. Like I can put that on right now. I can relate to the style. I can relate, bro. I'm literally like the Margiela mask. Is if this was out, this is what Ye would have been wearing at that time. You know what I'm saying? That's what he would have been wearing during the tour, in my view. So, like, I think stylistically, I could connect from the suiting to the ostentatious sort of like accessories and fucking just everything. That was when he was wearing his biggest chains, fucking everything. So
Not the Nazi chain.
not that one.
That boy said,
I think we doing too much for shock value at this point.
But look, you got to think though. Ye, I don't know if people think about this. Bro is 47 years old, so he's about to be 50.
Right.
So I feel like anything he does, bro, he checks. He try to check multiple boxes, right? So you try to have like the, you know, the surprising elements of what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
So the stuff that's just shock value stuff, right? Then he tries to have some type of, you know, word I'm looking for, some type of, you know, social element to it, socially progressing something. And then he's trying to, you know, have some type of just overall promotion, something he's promoting at the time that he's coming out with. So I think he tries to check multiple boxes in what his antics and what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, you got to think he's 47 and still relatively relevant. If you want to say something, not
relevant for sure.
You know,
I don't. Yeah, he's definitely relevant.
But think about how many 47-year-olds, quote unquote, rappers, right, are still relevant today. Now, obviously, I think, you know, times has changed. You got a lot of people that's still relevant. They made a way because of social media and stuff like that, where they're still relevant. Think about Gilly, think about Cam, and they mostly because they're doing some type of podcast, they're doing some type of show. I think Ye is in his movie is those moments that really stand out socially. So like the KKK fit, you feel me, stuff like that, where it's gonna really like, you know,
that nigga lost me on that. I said that nigga lost me with that sort of stuff for me individually, just because like. All right, so even I'll take it even away from Ye specifically.
Yeah,
I didn't enjoy Nas wearing the nigga t-shirt on the carpet. For me, it's just I don't see the value in a conversation that can't really be had openly. I don't see the value in starting a conversation with people that are ill prepared to have it. You understand? So if we're gonna have a public discussion, why not have it in a form that is for that versus interjecting it into a space that's not? And for me, it kind of perverts the ability to be able to have the conversation because you turn people off to the action of it more than you could have a valid point, but nobody can hear it. And so for me, I think that there's a better way to push the envelope. And I think that musically, I would like to see. I liked when Ye was talking about what he was going through in his music, and he was showcasing that in the art without having the direct discussion about it. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy wasn't screaming out what was wrong with society. The music was a social commentary on society. The film was a social commentary on society. For me, that's the style of art that I connect with most. Now, I understand that there is shock value art and there is mad value in that, and some people's art style connects with that. And maybe if you've done all the social commentary that you have in your spirit, what else left is there to do but to shout from mountaintops what the fuck you believe? I don't know. I haven't experienced that, so I can't connect with that. But for me, it's very much so I'm still in that social commentary phase where I got a lot to say about what I've experienced, a lot to receive about what other people have experienced. And I think that is the art form and the expression that I fuck with and connect with the easiest and the most.
Yeah. I think currently, you know, he's also about to drop a World War III album.
Yep.
He just announced like literally like an hour ago, which is you heard the song?
I heard the song. The album I think is gonna be, if he's got an album connected with that, that's just about to be crazy.
Right. I mean, again, I think obviously this is his lane, and he's trying to distance himself from quite a bit of people by, you know, think about any interview he's talking about Jay-Z, he's talking about Beyonce, he's talking about Jerry, he's talking about anybody that people perceive outwardly that he's connected with, he has an issue with, and I think that's strategic, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's necessary, the route that he's going on. I think the route that he's going on, he's going to have to do that, and he knows he has to do that on it by himself because he's an independent artist now. He's not signing no other record label. He doesn't have any brand partnerships. It's just him. But everybody else do.
Right.
right? So this is a journey. I think he has the ego to do on his own and wants to do on his own. You feel me? He's like, I don't even want, you know what I'm saying? No, if I accomplish something, which I don't think he has full clarity on what he's
trying to
like the
accomplish.
end goal.
Yeah, that's always my wonder.
Yeah, I think he mentioned it in another interview. He mentioned that he wants us to get all the pain out to where we could think about engineering and just see each other as humans. So he wants to hit every pain point in all the communities, especially American communities, obviously Jewish communities, and get it where it's like desensitized, right? And then we move on from that pain, get it behind us, and we just focus on some type of engineering because that's what we feel, you know, specifically America and just humans in general need to be putting their energy in. Do I feel the same, or do I feel like yes, we need to be putting our energy into, you know, into that for sure. But at the end of the day, I feel like I don't know. I believe in God, so I feel like God has a plan. I feel like God has a plan on Earth currently. I think most people may not really understand that. I think they feel like God is not really hands-on and have a uh, administration on here on Earth. I think people aren't privy to that, and because we know, like, if you're a Christian or you have any beliefs, a lot of stuff is counterfeit. A lot of stuff is fake. It's not. It's not the God of the Bible, right? But it does exist. You know what I'm saying? It's here. It's just that you may not be unaware, and I think Ye is doing his own thing because he's not aware of that. He's still doing this, getting a little bit of like history and just some Christian understanding. Like he's still doing Sunday service, right?
Right.
Sunday service, right?
Yeah.
If you're Christian, if you know what Jesus did, Jesus actually kept the Sabbath, and in the Bible, the Sabbath day is the day that God, set aside as a holy day, a weekly festival. So 6 days God created the world, and 7th day He rested. Right? The 7th day of the week, that's Saturday.
Technically Saturday.
Right. Saturday, right? So he's doing so that automatically let me know he don't know what was it's confusion there.
He was associating it with what culturally we always associated as our day,
right? Exactly.
Celebrate or to
exactly
praise,
right? But if you know the God of the Bible, right, the real God, is not. It's two different things, right? Sure. And also, we live in America, so we have everything is pretty much like colonized, and I would say it's basically like a business plan. Even the ideology of race, that's a business plan, bro. That's business, right? The way that our Christianity is implemented into our country, that is business, right? You got Rome, and they changed all the set times and laws of God. So you got Christmas, you got Easter. That's business, bro. That's days that people go make money. That's capitalism, right?
Sure.
So I think we are just naturally just the way we were raised here in America. We just don't know what's going on, bro.
Yeah,
it's part of that.
That's not our thing.
So is part of that as well. I think obviously he has some bits and pieces of truth. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's trying to put that together to kind of create a plan where he can see society moving forward, but it'll be difficult if you don't really know the creator. This is my opinion. I know that's, but
yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know where he goes from here because. Yeah, we were talking about it off cam, right? Like, if you really think about it, and how do you save an overindulged, spoiled brat? You can't. He can do whatever he wants because he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So like the only way you can do that is by not letting him do whatever he wants. But then you're risking watching this nigga crash out, and is it worth that too? Or you just let him be crazy in the corner, and it don't really affect nothing. So it's like, which culturally it feels like that's what we're doing. We're letting them just wild out in the corner, and everybody got that cousin that's a crash out, and he get real angry, and he just in the corner, and you just let him do it. It's just like, all right, bro, this man is gonna blow a fucking blood vessel, but fuck it, he's angry. Let Lil Rusty cook because he's wilding over there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like everybody has that person, so we kind of let him do that. But I don't think we should do that. I think his contribution to the world is too strong.
Okay, so what city you feel like has the best fashion in the world? In the world.
In the world?
In the world. And you've been overseas.
Yeah,
quite a bit, right?
Paris I've been to Paris. I've never been to
Paris.
Japan though.
Okay, I hear a lot
Yeah,
about Japan.
I've never been there, but
Why Paris?
just because I think they mix everything like real high end shit, and it doesn't mean that it's like brand heavy. It's just aesthetically high shoulder pieces, things like that. I think that they mix a lot of shit, and or Italy, yeah, Italy or Paris. I would say, but Paris is up there though, because even when you go out at nighttime, it looks fly. I think. Yeah, yeah, Paris.
Easy. Who throws the best fashion shows in your experience, or the best one you ever attended?
Who has the best fashion week? I mean, shit, Paris. Like,
Well, what brand have you experienced
what
has like the best fashion show,
that I've ever been to?
or the best fashion show you ever been to, or who you just feel like always throwing like consistently the best fashion shows? Because it's gonna be those one-offs. They're like, damn, but they don't do it, you know what I'm saying? They don't do that often. You know what I'm
Okay.
just the experience, like, damn, it's crazy.
I always think Amiri show was dope.
Amiri?
Yeah, I think Amiri show was fire. Yeah, like I fuck with Amiri shows. I think they're always dope. Louis shows is always cool. Has been at least for the last like
any
5
show,
years.
like specific show that stands out for you?
I can't remember what season it was, but it was I think it was Virgil's last season.
Okay.
The joint that Kendrick performed at. Yeah, that shit was hard.
Oh, okay, yeah,
with
for
the
sure. When he was when Kendrick was like sitting down.
When he was sitting down and he's like,
right.
like tapping, he's got
I just seen a video. It was like, I just seen a video. It was two women that was like on the side, and they was like, and people were like, why are they doing that to Kendrick? You know what I'm saying?
That shit was dope as fuck.
All right, bet. All right, and we gotta react to a few photos.
Let's get it.
All right. So first, all right, you got to tell me what this look is. How you put that together, bro? What's up? What you wearing, bro?
So this is actually one of the joints we was talking about. So
yeah,
that's an Amiri coat.
Okay.
I think it's autumn winter 2022. Yeah, it's AW22. I think that shit is super fire. Brown checker, fire. The length of it is crazy. The pant is a Rick Owens pant, high waisted. Actually, the boot is the same boot I got on right now.
Yeah. See that?
And then on the vest is it's Who Decides War. And then underneath I layered it with the John Paul Gaultier money
fire,
like tight mesh.
Yeah,
I think it's super ill.
Nice.
I just remembered I had something. I got a tight mesh camo joint.
Yeah,
literally just like this. That looked just like that I need to put underneath this. I'm about to come on with this actually.
There you go. Fire. Yeah, let us look.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I got a jacket that's similar, but it's not. This is brown, right?
It's brown. Yeah, it's brown with black hints, and then it's got like red threads through it too.
Oh yeah, see at the bottom. Yeah. So fire, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces I have, honestly.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I love that jacket.
Yes, sir. And you styled this gentleman. What was you thinking? I know that's your pieces though. Some of them your pieces. That's why I got it out.
That's not just Sylvester that I did a cover story for. So I designed that camouflage fur. It's all fox fur.
What?
Crazy layered that way. We did it in collaboration with Saga Fur.
Fire.
And it was dyed that way, which is crazy. So it was Romeo Hunt, Saga Furs, and then Nigel and myself that all created that as a design that was fire. Love that. And it's the only camouflage fur that I had seen on that lush green like that. And then the piece underneath it is the piece I was telling you about before, the boiler suit that I was talking about, that leather, chocolate brown leather.
Yes.
And it all zips together. Everything is separate, or you could wear it as separate pieces. I actually wore the jacket literally today as a separate piece.
Okay.
Just the jacket. So yeah, man, I love that piece right there. And then we did it with the Jordan 4s, the Obsidian joint. So it was crazy.
Fire. What's the
Honor the Gift. That was a joint that we did from Russell Westbrook's line. At the time, he was really big in the lookbook for that.
Okay. Super fire. But now we're gonna look at a couple pieces. I know you're into pieces, right? Yeah. Now, I wanted to kind of go to the left with you, bro. Okay. I know it's something you probably ain't expecting, but what do you think about the tie?
I fucking love that tie, bro.
Yeah.
I love that tie. So the crazy thing is, I am 99% sure that the nigga that made that tie, we went and saw in Paris. Paradox, as I'm 99% sure the name of that brand.
Okay.
But super fire. I think what people are doing with menswear ties is super ill right now. I wanna do a dope leather tie. The exotic fur element of it is, or not fur, but the exotic skin element of it is crazy.
Right.
For me, I think being able to fuck with stuff like that is super ill. I saw a metal one that was all like knights.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
All metal netted like that was crazy. Like a dope ass scarf.
I can already picture.
Yeah, I would love to see more things like that. And if, metal joint that you add some like emerald or ruby or some ill shit like that. I would love to see shit like that. I love that.
Yeah, fire. Yeah, I would. It's something I would definitely wear.
That's definitely something you would
Yeah,
get down
up
with.
my alley, like a minimal look, but it just in its shape and obviously it's unique texture and stuff like that is just like perfect.
The whole thing, I think, realistically, that's a fire ass piece. Bottega made a dope ass. I think it was an alligator necktie that was super crazy this season too.
Okay, fire. Shout out to Bottega. But yeah, I got this from was it 0 to 9 Lab. They may not be the designer, but you said this is who's
I think it's Paradox.
Paradox. Okay.
The dude that was in Paris because he had those same rings and the whole thing. Everything was made out of that exotic skins and just dope shit like that.
Fire. Now this is another. I wanted to get some random stuff, especially from New York, and you already kind of got some known and probably some new up and coming brands as well. I'm not too familiar with this brand, but what you think about that hat? Is it up your alley? Do you feel like
this? No, I think this is valid. I think that this is always dope. That's a part of the city is making what feels like custom pieces, and now we've got like brands, stores, shops that like Manhattan that are embracing that and selling that from unique creators. That is fire to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that would be a place that I would love to house my, a hat that I've done things, but it's like the Don C model, if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Don was taking all of the sports hat and adding his flair on it. At the time, his was adding these luxurious high-end leather skins and things like that. And hides, same shit.
Do you feel like he like that brand was like everything he was doing with like New Era stuff like that was a highly successful brand like situation, or he implemented it well? Do you feel like that was?
No, I don't think he implemented it well, but I think it was successful that he had it. I think it was a win to have, and in my opinion, he almost treated it like that. He treated it like the win was signing that deal, not like doing the product
execution.
Yeah, but that's okay though, like. Because those things aren't going to happen all the time. They're getting that again. Who's going to be Kanye's friend again that they're going to give a deal to? Like, So, did you need to maximize? Sometimes I used to get mad at shit like that and be like, yo, like, why you didn't set it up for the next niggas like us? And it's like, because the only reason I got this is for this reason. You were never getting this. That was never going to a kid like you. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what it's for.
Yeah.
So, I think when you understand the reality of the circumstances, it makes it a little bit. I respect that he did it. I respect that he had it. You know what I'm saying? That was a cool shot. Maybe the next nigga that's friends with somebody that is really popping will do something else popping. You know what I mean? I think he set the stage for the ASAP Baris of the world, and because to me that shit is whack. But it was closely associated with something that was cool, that was not whack. You know what I'm saying? So it worked.
Yeah.
So can't hate on it.
Yeah, I agree, bro. Yeah, because I used to work in the mall, so I used to go to Lids, and I used to see some of the pieces in it.
Yeah,
I used to be like,
this shit crazy. You should sell it for $500,000. 500 at that time, selling a hat for $500 was fucking unheard of.
Yeah, for sure.
Hats was $30.
Yeah,
niggas selling these shit for $500.
That's crazy, man. And they even had the idea to say, we're gonna sell these for $500.
That niggas bought them.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta think like that shit wasn't happening.
Do you think today, like, you think that would be more like those looks will be those type of hats would be more appropriate today? Like people will, it's in the day.
I don't think it would pop as much as it did today because it already happened. But at the same time, it's still pop like Carlton Yedo shit pop. A lot of niggas, the bedazzled hats sort of pop. You know what I mean? And You gotta be willing to put it out there.
Some other ones.
Oh yeah, see that's tough too. I fuck with that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too much color for me.
Yeah.
But I fuck with people being able to add their own sort of flavor for it.
Okay.
Flavor to it for sure.
Yeah. And it just so happened you had your head. I had this already popped up.
Where it worked out like
I was
that.
like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, because I know it's like a thing in New York
A
right
trend
now.
for sure.
Especially in New York. That's coming out of New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, for sure.
Because I think fitteds is and fitteds was coming back. That was the other thing too. Niggas was wearing snapbacks for a long time. Fitteds just started coming back. So
yeah, exactly.
You know, damn man, you remember even like, but customizing fitteds has been a thing. Tisa was doing it before Dawn. If you really think about it, you know what I'm saying. You think back to them Big Sean, Chris Brown days, and niggas was all wearing them Tisa hats. Like,
oh yeah,
that was Taz Arnold. That was Ye's Man's too. You know, so when you really think about it, like,
right. Yeah.
That was what they was running around as a crew. It was Taz, fucking Virgil, Don, Ye, you feel me? A couple other niggas. Like,
you ever seen him in New York?
Nah.
No.
I don't think I was outside enough at that time for him.
Yeah.
Like downtown at least.
But eventually, I'm saying like eventually.
I was outside differently, not with where they was. Them niggas they were still getting money. I wasn't getting no money.
Right.
I think that was 2000 and too early for me. I wasn't getting no money.
Right.
I had no bread then. That's for sure. That's for sure.
All right. So we're gonna go into this one. This is a boot. So they put the boot in. Was it cement for 6 months?
Okay.
So they get the look, and then that's the look there. What do you think? What you think?
I like stuff like that though.
Yeah.
Because I think that brings back. So that's one of the things that like people think of houses like Hermes, and they're like, yo, like how did that bag get that expensive? And it's like because they were willing to fucking potentially ruin reptile skin to try a process of dyeing it. When it first happened. Now they can do it by machine, but at the time they were hand dyeing this bag, this rare piece that took forever to fucking find. They would dye it in a process that could potentially ruin the bag, but it didn't because somebody perfected it. That's what craftsmanship is. Same thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, I think that we should bring that back to being a portion of fashion, and a portion of exclusivity and expensiveness.
Okay. Beautiful. Yeah, I absolutely love these boots, man.
It's crazy. It's just hard.
Yeah, I would definitely.
It's one of those things that you explain it to somebody that doesn't give a fuck. They're like, okay, you put them in some cement,
right?
You know, but like, you know, to somebody that is really like, nah, the process of that is really what created these patinas and all this sort of shit.
Right.
You know, like.
But I like the end result. I like the style, the look of it.
Yeah,
even more than the process.
For sure.
You know I mean, yes, the process, you know, is cool. I like the
actual
piece. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, it's me. You know what I mean? How it's gonna look? You can put it in cement all you want, but is it gonna be?
But if the sticker come out whack,
that shit like whatever, bro. Like okay,
like, I couldn't have that.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. All right, so what you think about the fits? Now this is a couple. You know what I'm saying? You know CJ.
Right? I fuck with CJ. Yeah, that's a Mary show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a Mary looks right there.
Yeah, old girl looking good, man.
Yeah, I think both of those are fire.
Suit and tie, like
I think they do their
like
thing.
rocking it like that. Yeah,
I definitely think that they do their thing. I like his personality. I don't always love the looks that he does on Tyler Hero. It's not for me.
Yeah,
but I fuck with him. I feel like his shit is dope. His shit always looks good on him.
Is he from New York?
No, he's from like St. Louis or something. But he lives in New York.
Oh, okay.
I think that's one of the things about the new school stylists. So I will say that, like, a lot of niggas are really good at dressing themselves, but some of this shit don't really translate to the niggas that they be dressing. Like, I want to see you. Like, I've never seen Wisdom K dress somebody else. I like it on him. I don't know if him styling somebody is fire. You know what I mean? Like, it's like his shit that's good. Same thing almost with Jerry. Like, Jerry shit look good on Jerry. I don't know if everybody could wear Fear God. So that's how I feel about certain people. Like I fuck with their shit on them. Fire.
Right.
Trim always looks good. But when they put on other people, it's like, I like you better as an influencer than a stylist. But I like him better as an influencer. I think he's a fire as an influencer. Top tier influencer. Stylist.
Yeah.
You know.
What you think about like having a girl that can put it on?
That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I thought I had.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
She can put it on, but if y'all gonna be beefing the whole fucking time, it don't matter.
It don't matter.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Two flies, motherfuckers. If ain't nobody gonna see it,
Yeah.
and you gonna be beefing the whole fucking time, who cares?
Yeah. You don't even like each other.
Exactly. So.
Yeah. You gotta just get
You gotta get the right one.
You gotta get lucky, bro.
Yeah, get the right one and let her wanna, if you got it and she don't got it, let her want you to help her get it. But vice versa. If she got something you don't got, like help, be willing to let her teach you.
So do your girl have to have style when you meet her? Okay, would you prefer her have money or have style?
Her own money or
her own money?
Like really her own money.
Like she
like really her own money.
She really do her own.
She do it from here.
She could from there. She could be a professional.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She could be,
Nah, I would prefer that. I would prefer you to have your own chicken. We can figure out style.
You can figure out the style.
Yeah, I can do that for you. Yeah. You wouldn't even need to think about that. I wouldn't even that would be my job. Make sure you look good, what's fly, and your hair is popping, and you know how to do.
But here's the thing, though: would you feel like you want a girl that is genuinely already in it?
I would prefer that. Yes.
Okay.
I would prefer that my girl that
is in already that.
Yeah, because I will say, like, even though our personal kind of fell out, I loved talking about fly shit with my fly girl. Like we was just. Locked in on that, like that shit was it. This is probably this, and I really trusted her opinion, particularly when it came to work. Like if I was like, "Yo, like I want to do it like this," and she's like, "Yeah, I like that." It wasn't like, "Do you like it?" Whereas with somebody else, it was like, "Man, you don't even know what to like or not," so I can't really like trust your opinion. But with Shorty, I really could have trust. I really knew I could trust her opinion.
So let's get it right. So you would prefer a woman who could put it on and is genuinely from her. Yeah. Right. And y'all have a relationship.
A fly girl.
And then y'all figure out money together.
Yes, and we figure out
money. Well, you figure out the money.
I'll figure out the money. That's
great. Yeah. We good. Rather than a girl who already got the money, but she ain't really got style and ain't really into.
Exactly.
That's not something she really into.
No, I would much rather my girl be into it.
Right.
My main thing though is you can't be. The thing about sometimes with women is like you can't just be into labels. You got to be in the style. Taking something with less and doing more with it. If that's your mentality, I want that woman all day. Because you're gonna take a Walmart party and make it look like a $2,000 party or a $10,000 party or $15,000 party. We got and that's a growth mindset. If we got $2,000, let's make it look like fucking 20. If we got 20, let's make this look like 40. If we got 40, let's make this look like a mill. Like, and that to me is what styling is about, what style is about, what fly shit is about. So to me, that whole, especially if you ain't really have it growing up, your whole mentality, if it's built on that, then it's fire. If your mentality is like, I gotta have the Gucci bag in order to be fly, nah, I can't. That's not fly to me.
Right. I agree. That's you said that perfectly. All right. We're gonna do like 2 more looks. All right. So we can get you home, man, or whatever you try to do.
Nah, I'm trying to go home.
You know what I'm
saying? You trying to kill you, Karen.
All right, what you think, brother? Now that's going back to Rick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie. The pants, gas, proportions popping. I think the boots is where I get a little lost with everything.
She said he coming in different. You feel?
Yeah, because what I want though is I just want a little bit more. Because I love those boots. I don't love it with this. I just want a little bit more wider. Okay. If they were wider, if they were bigger, I will fuck with it a little bit more. Give it a little bit more stack. But the overall look, fire. The overall look is gas. Yeah, the overall look is crazy. For sure.
And all of this, for me, it seems like just repurpose work. You know what I'm saying? Like this something you already have in the closet.
Sure.
And you could just cut it up a little bit, rework it, boom, boom, boom. You got this look.
And now you got to look. Yep. But that's what having a fly closet is for. So you can do shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Cool. You know who that is already.
Yeah.
What is it?
That's not it for me though.
You ain't feeling it?
Nah, not for me. It's
easy.
I know. That's why I'm like, I got lost after a while. I
think it's fire, bro.
What you like about it? Let me ask you.
It's a female though.
What you like?
I just like the layering of the jacket. I like the color. You know what I'm saying?
I love the color.
Okay, so what this is to me, bro, is like you can wear this. This is something you could just wear on a daily basis. You could go. What I'm saying is like I like fashion like that, where wherever you pop in and pop out at, you don't like if you're going to Walmart, right? If you go to Walmart, you got what you're gonna you gonna be comfortable because you. But at the same time, like
to the average,
it's still gonna be a lot.
right.
But you got something like this on, like nobody gonna be turning an eye. You know what I'm saying? Because it has elements in it that they're used to seeing. You know what I'm saying, like construction or whatever, right? But also, if you go to the private club, they ain't gonna probably. Most people ain't gonna know. They ain't gonna know this language. They're gonna be like, "What's this nigga?" You know what I mean? But it's a female again, though. But if it's a female, if I seen a female wearing this, bro, I'd be like, "She fly, bro."
Nah, I feel,
you know like
all right.
That's fire. Like whoever they put it together.
I like the way that it's put together to a degree.
Yeah.
The proportions on the bottom throw me from the proportions on the top. That's the only way I feel it. That's the only thing that throws me about it that I don't fuck with.
Yeah, I love it. I think that because it is different and throw you off just a little bit enough. That's what makes me gravitate a little bit more towards it.
That it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, listen, and I think that there's a styling space for that. It's just not for me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I want to do two more, bro. We got two more. So you got this one, this is by Shane Oliver.
Fuck with Shane Oliver.
So same with the boots.
Similar sort of aesthetic.
That's a
little bit more breakup.
Yeah.
To me, I like the aesthetic of the photo. I don't know if I like the look, but the aesthetic of the photo itself is dope. Right. And I think doing the contrast in terms of being able to see how good the leather looks, I think that's like that will go on my mood board. I wouldn't style it that way, but the visual itself will go on my mood board because I think the visual is hard. Like the tone, everything about it is fire, in that regard.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's fire. I think if I seen someone wearing this, I'd be like, "That's fire." Bro.
I would think that.
I would be like, "That's a good look." Like it's different enough. It's different.
Not me, but I felt it though. Yeah,
exactly. And then, I mean, the only thing I probably wouldn't do is the short shorts, you know?
See, I think if the shorts was bigger and it was done right, they could be that short, just like a little bit wider. You got to layer. If you layer something underneath it, I can fuck with it. Like an MMA short. Yeah. I can fuck with it. Like, I wouldn't wear it. Like, my thigh's a little too big for that, but...
Yeah, I don't think I can see you wearing a short.
If you was a super skinny, you know what I'm saying? It depends on who the nigga is.
Exactly. You're right.
Like,
exactly.
I'm not the nigga.
You're not. Right.
I don't have the body type for that.
This is more how a model will actually probably...
Yeah, you got to be a real slim dude. Like,
exactly.
Saying you're a real... CJ could get busy with that. I can't.
Right.
Say he tall, slim, it could work proportionally particularly if you layer like a waffle knit underneath it. That's fine. I can't do that. Okay, that ain't nothing to me.
Right. And this is a more simple look. Something up.
Oh yeah, I love this. I love, like I said, I love niggas putting ties with like more harder sort of fits right now. The leathers, the shit. You could put a white shirt and a tie underneath this right now, and it hits. So I fuck with that heavily. I definitely fuck with that. Rocky's influencing a lot of niggas right now, man.
Something calm, yeah,
for sure. But I love that though.
Because he could. Is that those what is it? Bodega?
Yeah, the Bottega joints.
Bottega. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right, so this is the last one. So this joint right here, bro. I don't like it all, but I have the jacket. So you have a. Is
that entire?
I'm sorry.
Is that entire studio? Yeah, I fuck with the jacket heavily.
So I got the jacket, right, and you know how I just bring it up for a conversation, right? So when you see pieces on other people that you probably own, and you be like, he ain't doing that justice right now. Like, that's what I be thinking about. So you know what I'm saying? Like this ain't. I mean, I don't.
Nah, from the
shout out to you, bro. I don't know who you is, but you know what I'm saying.
To the tutor, that's not it right now.
Yeah,
because the shoes throw it, and the jacket looks funny on him, and you got to know your proportions. If you shorter, he looks short. If you're shorter like that, the jacket's gonna overwhelm you. You got to be a bigger dude to be able to carry that, in my opinion. Or it needs to be, instead of having a drop shoulder like that, it needs to be a high shoulder to where it stands you up and you look a little bit more put together. That just looks like it don't lay on you right.
Yeah, it ain't.
You know what I'm saying?
The t-shirt, it is open. I don't know.
It makes you look short and small.
Yeah, everything up here gonna be positive. We gonna
be now you gotta have some proportions. I think that should be cropped on you. On him, you know what I'm saying? Or that again, the drop shoulder is what makes it just overwhelms him. Makes him look small. You know what I'm saying? I think that would
Yeah.
I would definitely change that.
Uh,
But I see what he was doing, and I wouldn't wear the pants with it either.
yeah, it's just not fun.
A big baggy white pant would be hard though.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right, we're gonna do. Oh, look what I had in there.
Oh yeah.
You
Come
feel
on, 'cause
me?
you know what time.
You know what I'm saying?
What year was that?
This is the
No,
good shit.
it was 01. All right, cool. I didn't know whether it was 01 or 03. I was looking at the year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what.
01.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said
for sure.
yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's hard, bro. That shit was it.
I had put this this in your folder, bro.
Literally, that's
Isn't
crazy.
that crazy?
That's crazy. I fuck with that.
Isn't that crazy, bro? That's the double.
You know what I'm
That's number one.
saying?
I was like, let me,
That one picture you said, I'm gonna put this in first.
bro. Isn't that crazy, dog?
It makes sense.
So when you were saying that, I was just like,
I
that's
knew you
crazy,
would do
bro.
that.
That's crazy. But yeah, man, appreciate you coming on, bro. We're gonna be doing more of these.
Nah, we gotta do
Shout out
it.
to Clay, you feel me?
Sure. Thank you
You
for
know?
having me, brother.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I want to do more and more and have just more conversation about what it is that we're trying to do and where it is we're trying to go. So
Yes, sir. It's his birthday too, you heard me? So y'all say happy birthday in the comments for brother. Well, this it will probably be when we post this, it's gonna be way after your birthday. But
it is my birthday today.
shout out to you, though, brother. Shout out to happy birthday, love. You feel
It
me?
was it.
Appreciate you coming on, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right,
Appreciate you.
yes, sir. We out.